Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for a personal reading, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for here today. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are also doing 2 giveaways today. Our first reading giveaway will be a giveaway. I will be gifting a reading back to the collective when we get to 50K likes. So make sure that you are tapping that screen and we will get to 50K in no time. The other giveaway we'll be doing today is I will be doing a free reading for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So I wish you a lot of luck if you're participating in that as well. Prior to beginning today's daily collective, I will be giving a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. If you would like to catch that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my Substack. But before we get started, first and foremost, most important question: how are you doing today? Scale of 1 to 10. There are no wrong answers. We are coming out of a very intense full moon cycle. There's something very apropos about us going through that Capricorn full moon through this Cancer season. We've spoken a lot about the fact that Cancer season often challenges us to work towards deepening levels of vulnerability. The understanding and recognition that the more that we're able to find ourselves, the more that we are able to love ourselves in those spaces of vulnerability, the more that we are able to communicate and articulate what it is that we're seeking, what it is that we're feeling. It is the benefit to both ourselves and to counterpart. And I think it's really interesting because I know that there's a lot. I know everybody's in a big hullabaloo right now over the fact that Uranus is in Gemini. But I think the thing we also need to take into consideration to a certain extent is the fact that there are a lot of different factors that are surrounding that Uranus and Gemini, specifically and particularly the fact that we also find Venus in Gemini right now. And what does that significate? It's the observation of what we change in ourselves and the impact that the change that we make in ourselves has in the energy around us. This is why, and we're seeing it in a huge way. It's having a big impact depending on where you find yourself on the frequency cycle, specifically for masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to, that is in separation. Now, I will say that energetically, I recognized a shift that felt like it would occurred for the energy in separation. Over the last few months, we saw that a lot of the energy in separation was building into magician partnerships. And that is specifically the reason we're articulating them as magician partnerships is these are relationships that we're prioritizing the authenticity or the ability to rest within the authenticity of the self in relationship as the highest priority for being in the relationship. Now, around the period of the solstice, I saw the fact that there was a shift there, an abrupt shift of the energy moving out of magician into temperance. And it's not surprising to see that transition because it's a conversation about the fact that it isn't just enough to be able to be in the authentic expression of self if one is not working on the self, right? You can be in the authentic version of self And it can be too much in the egoic space, and it can also be too much in the space of the higher self. How can we usually articulate and recognize when we're too much in the egoic space or too much in the space of the high self? The egoic space can often create that inviability point in being able to conversate with those around the self. It is that, we talk about the fact that the ego is the first line of defense for the soul. It is there to protect us. And that's why it's not our job to shed it entirely. Um, because we need that thing. We need it because often when it feels triggered, when it feels frustrated, it's doing so in a way to try to protect us. But this is also why we notice for that in that way that the first thing that we often feel when we feel triggered is we feel defensive. Now, the ability to navigate and regulate the ego is much like the journey of the crab in the sense that you want an ego that fits and matches very similar to what is within the self, right? That observation of the space of having a healthy ego is one that allows one to be able to observe and communicate through it. And when we have that, it allows for a lot of healthy partnership potential, right? Simultaneously and similarly, how can you usually tell you're too much in the space of the higher self? An over concentration on one's own path of healing, right? The viability point where we often start to beat ourselves up, if you will, or be too hard on ourselves because we feel like we're constantly or perpetually failing our own expectations. That's why it's really important to make sure that we hold ourselves gently, even as we're reaching to that higher self. And so this work is what we're effectively seeing is occurring right now for a lot of the energy in separation, right? Doing that work to sift through the past in order to recognize and identify what one is working on. And even more so, not being too hard on the self in the fact that one recognizes that work is necessary, right? This is what we mean with a Capricorn full moon and vulnerability. It's being able to plumb the depths of one's own vulnerability, find something there of critical value, and be able to utilize that to begin the work of being able to repair or amend or heal something, either within the self or outside of the self. And so that's why we see that there's two different modalities that are occurring right now for energy and separation. Either doing that work entirely focused upon the self, recognizing that it is the greatest gift that we bring to counterpart connection, or these are new relationships that are forming, potentially talking with avidness and eagerness as it relates to their own healing journey. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union. You'll recall that I mentioned that those are those magician partnerships, the relationships that were prioritizing authenticity of the self above all, that were occurring from about the time of the solstice up until the time that Mercury and Venus woke up behind Neptune. Now, what's interesting to recognize with those energetic cycles is I'm going to tell you right now, there's potentially a lot of frustration that's occurring in those modalities. There's potentially a lot of ire that is being released. Why are we seeing that there may be some ire that's being released? Because we observe that for a lot of those relationships, the ability to move into a relationship that embraces one's authenticity. What do you leave behind? Those experiences wherein either you were moving towards someone or you were being moved towards, where someone was not embracing you at your fullest, but more the potentiality of what you could become. This can be very painful. It can be very unhealthy in relationships because the message that we've been receiving is potentiality should be expressed in relationship, in where the relationship will go, not in the space of who someone will energetically become. And when we are able to recognize and identify that tendency, right? The ability to see another person and say, oh, well, if only, right? Like that if only point is one that can be very detrimental in healthy partnership connection. Because in the space of healthy relationship, and this is what we're seeing for a lot of those relationships that are moving deeper into connection right now, it's not the fact that there aren't things there that they're observing that they want to work on, but it's mutual recognized observation of shared changes, right? The implemented changes that you're working upon the self that another person is supporting you on, that allows the context of being able to understand that everything is possible so long as the work is mutual. This brings us to a lot of the energy deep within divine union. You'll recall that these were those chariot partnerships that were forming from about the time that Mercury and Venus woke up behind Neptune up until the time that Mars stationed direct earlier this year. For a lot of those relationships, the prioritization point was the reliability of counterpart, the ability to feel the consistency in relationship that allows one to move into the inner sanctum of self. I've been seeing for a lot of that energy, this has been percolating. This is a time of contemplation. This is a time of planning. It is having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. I see for a lot of the feminine energy, this may be feeling like a lot of busybody energy, doing a lot of things, a lot of energetic activation. For masculine, it's more potentially contemplative. For both of these energies, what we're effectively seeing is the expansion point of a manifestation goal. Understanding that a healthy manifestation goal isn't necessarily articulated on what you receive, but what you're able to see. The reception of a different perspective that allows one to move towards a manifestation goal more easily. But what's interesting about that is we see that for a lot of that energy moving from Wheel of Fortune into Fool card, the expansion point of perception that helps you recognize what it is that you need to work upon. I see that a lot of that energy is kind of like working through that training wheels energy, giving themselves the time to build the shape around a concept or an idea in order to implement further within the concept, within the context of the relationship itself. That is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. But let me know in the comments how this energy is impacting you personally. That said, if you want to get on the list for a reading today, the list as always is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, Binks and my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps. Those are pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a few minutes to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Hope you guys are having an absolutely beautiful start to your day. Hi there, Vanessa. How are you doing today? Cheryl, welcome. Sarah, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. And welcome, Van Helsing. How are you doing today, Team Olsana? Such a good to see you. And Lady, thank you for joining us. Heads up, Van Helsing. Your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. And Princess, thank you so much for the follow. Christella, thank you for the gifts as well. And Denise, so good to see you today. Hope you're having an absolutely beautiful start to your day. Grand Rising Bloody. Hi there, Trevor. This resonates deeply. Grateful for your gifts and willingness to share here. It's a pleasure, Trevor. Thank you for being here and receiving these messages. As I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read, but if you'd like to get on the list for today, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the first person on the list, and the first person on the list will always have an additional card in their reading. Also, a couple of updates before we move into the daily collective. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who participated in our recent class on the Temperance card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, July 16th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Devil card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I will be doing my best to give you an update on everything we have studied prior to beginning our next class, but the material is there for you to receive as you're ready to receive it. And you will also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relationality to anything we have learned thus far. One of the things I have tried to do in these classes, and if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you will also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. That is access to over 15 hours worth of material in an ever expanding library. You will also have access to, if you choose to receive one, a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, wherein I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best impact, moving towards your personal tarot goals. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also have updates. You'll also have my Mystic Meditation articles, which give you updates on what we've been seeing energetically in article form. I just released one recently on how to navigate this Capricorn full moon energy, working towards your own personal manifestation goals. You can find that there now. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. But if you would like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. It's a great time to get on the list. The first person on the list will always have an additional card in their reading. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Thank you so much, Nan and Gecko Moria, for the follow. Grand Rising, Denise, so good to see you. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Team Mulsana. And Grand Rising Bloody. I am on early today, Hannah. It's a busy day. Got a lot to do. As I mentioned, friends, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read. Before we do so, hi there, Mariana. I'm happy to read for you on that if you'd like to get on the list. These are donation-based readings, so the first person on the list for today will have an additional card in their reading. Links in my bio, also for those who are joining me across the other apps. If you would like to get on the list for today, you can do so as well via those same methods. I do want to let you guys know too, before we get started, we are going to get started on our daily collective in just a few minutes. Before we begin, why don't we warm up with doing a little bit of an intuition check? All right. Thank you so much for the roses, Mariana. You know the drill, guys. I have got an animal spirit guide card here. We are going to count back from 10. When I get to 1, I will reveal the card and we will see who gets closest to it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was the bull. Thank you guys so much for participating. We will do that after the next, after we complete the daily collective. Thank you guys for trying. Mariana, I'm happy to answer that question. If you get on the list, I will ask that you please don't repeat the same question in the comments. It's not courteous to those who are trying to communicate in the comment space. If you want a question answered, all you need to do is send the donation via my tree that is Binkston in my bio, and I'll be happy to read a card for you. All right, that said, just a reminder before we begin, if anyone would like to get on the list right now, the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, Binks in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We do here life path readings, highest priority messages from spirit, angelic guidance, past life readings. We do animal spirit guide readings. We do pet readings. We also do mediumship, dream interpretation, and guided messages. Also, if you have information that you feel is relevant for the purposes of our reading, if, for instance, if you have a dream that you would like interpreted, or if you have a past life you would like more information on, you can include that information in the notes when you send the donation, or you can post it in our subscriber-only Discord channel in the appropriate channels. Absolutely. You guessed cow. You got really close, Takara. That's great, and especially because it's a white bull. I'm listening and getting, no, you don't have to apologize. That's why I always like to do it. I understand that not everyone can put their comments in the box when they're listening to it. That said, my friends, if you guys could do me a favor and share this live, I would appreciate it. Make sure anyone who would like to catch this reading live is here to receive it. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? And also just a reminder before we begin, 2 different giveaways we're doing right now. The highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read will receive a free reading. Also, we will be doing a reading giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure you are tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Also, when you tap the screen, it encourages this live to be pushed out to those who have not received it before. So thank you so much in doing your part in helping to share these messages. That said, no better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, July 11th, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first 2 cards in our 5-card spread? First 2 cards we are starting our day off with today are, we have here our 3 of Cups in its reversal in combination with our 3 of Swords in its reversal. Double 3 energy here. And this is important. So if you'll recall, one of the things that we've spoken about has to do in the space of working through this Capricorn full moon. It's not easy, right? This is a full moon of building energetic resolve. It's building into the space of finding one's own sense of resolve. And when we're trying to find resolve, it's not easy. It's the context by which we understand and identify what it is that we are working to heal. And that's why we say, like, when you work to absolve the self, right? Then you build your sense of resolve, because it's the observation of what one is working to improve in the self that allows the context by which things become possible. Now, for a lot of, and that's what effectively we see with a lot of this Capricorn energy deep in the heart of Cancer season. Cancer season It's about working through the space and recognizing and identifying one's own vulnerability. And it's very easy. It's very easy when we're feeling energetically vulnerable to, I keep on seeing like wanting to come into that space of like avoiding it, right? But when we avoid our vulnerability, we can't avoid our vulnerability. Our vulnerability finds us. But when we own our vulnerability, right, when we do the work to try to understand the self fully, then that vulnerability becomes our energetic greatest sense of strength because it shows, right? It's the observation point of what it is that we're working to energetically improve. This is having a big impact right now, depending on where you find yourselves on the frequency cycles. Center card for today's spread to get more conversation related to that. We have here our Five of Swords in its reversal. And this is exactly the type of energy that we hope to see coming through this Capricorn full moon. Because again, I want to bring this up. We have, and I don't think we're talking about this enough. You know, I know everybody is in a tizzy right now. Everybody's in a tizzy about the fact that Gemini is like, that Uranus is in Gemini. Like, there are much more significant things that I think we need to talk about. One of the things I want to talk about is the fact that we've got 3 different planets in the span of this month that are going retrograde in Aries. Neptune has already gone retrograde. Okay. Saturn is going to be going retrograde shortly, and then Chiron, and that's what I mean. Like those energies, like what does it mean when you have a lot of energy going retrograde in Aries? It's digging your heels in. It's digging your heels in. It's like it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that hunkering down kind of energy. I told you it's a buck moon. All right. We're coming out of a buck moon, right? And that's what we talk about here, right? The space by which everything is possible, so long as the work is mutual. And what's beautiful about this is also the fact that we've got Venus in Gemini, which is what we keep on seeing for a lot of the energy that is in separation. Because this is the energy that understands that the work of itself, of the work of the self, is effectively the best space to put work, because the work is never lost. Because the more that we work on ourselves, that is the gift that we bring to counterpart, right? It is the difference between approaching counterpart and saying, help me, I'm lost, versus saying, welcome, I'm found, right? The observation of feeling the sense of knowing who one is. Further, it also supports a healthy relationship dynamic, because if we don't do the work to heal the ego before coming into partnership, we often don't find the relationship that what is a sign of a healthy relationship? It gives us a differing perspective. It helps us see something from an angle that we could not see it before, rather than the relationship that often fosters our own stagnancy, because it creates that space of someone tiptoeing around us, the inability of being able to have a breakthrough that is often indicative of being too much in the space of the ego, right? Because what happens with the ego? The ego is there to protect us, but only insofar as we are able to communicate through it. 4th and 5th cards in our 5-card spread are, we've got here our 9 of Cups, Pentacles in its upright, in combination, woo, with that Lover's card in its reversal. And this is what we see. Like, this is why we talk about the fact that you can't take the same approach to everything. It's like the case by case basis by which we have to navigate relationships, right? Because when we feel, like I keep on hearing, it's all about navigating, and I'm not surprised to see this because we've got Mercury and Leo. A lot of the conversations that we've been having right now is learning how to navigate our own roar, right? We're going to be talking more about this as we enter Leo season. What do we mean by navigating one's own roar? It's not to say that there aren't moments that you are feeling validated in roaring, right? But this is the journey that often Leonine journey, like spaces talk towards. It's an honor to roar. And why is it an honor to roar? Because a roar that is honored is a roar that carries meaning. There is something to be communicated in the roar, right? It's like it's a message. It's the ability to be able to identify and recognize the meaning of an energetic roar. But when we are too much in our ego, our roars lack meaning. They're just the cries of pain, right? They're just the cries of energetic protectiveness. So that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships that are occurring, and this is why we do, right? This is why we do the work on understanding the self. Because when we understand why we're roaring, why we understand why we feel the way we do, we are able to build into the context of communicating the things that have significance and value to us. And this is why often the difference would, right? The difference, like this is what we mean right now. This is all of that Uranus in Gemini energy and Venus in Gemini. It can sometimes look very similar. It can sometimes look very similar when someone is roaring, between the roar that says, I don't like this, the roar that says, I don't want to communicate, versus the roar that says, this has meaning, this has significance, this identifies and recognizes what one needs to work upon. And so that's why I feel like for a lot of this energy that is coming into union right now, like this is the energy in separation. I keep on seeing one of two different modalities here. These are either circumstances or situations that one is doing the work on the self to be able to identify the difference, right? The fundamental difference between the state or the space by which another is able to recognize and identify the work that they are doing on the self, the thing about the self that bothers them, the thing about the self that they're working to improve upon, right? And then putting that force of intention towards that. This is how we roar, right? This is how we absolve ourselves of the past by resolving to do different in the future. So that's a lot of that energy that is defining their roar. They're finding that space of conscientiousness by which they're putting that force of intention upon changing within the self. Or these are relationships that are coming together right now that are talking about, they're working through past experiences. They're talking about, I keep on saying, they're working through, they're talking to each other about impossible scenarios or situations they felt like they hit an impossibility or impasse point on. But are they saying that to feel validated or justified? No. They're saying to one another, did I miss something? Do you see a fault in what I am able to identify? Do you see a failure point in the logic, right? And they're not doing so. You understand, they're not doing so for the sake of trying to go back to a situation, but because it's that same force of intention, that self-inquiry that allows the context by which one is able to identify and recognize what one is hoping to achieve and improve upon going forward. This brings us to a lot of those magician partnerships that were coming together from about the time that we saw that the solstice period up until Mercury and Venus woke up behind Neptune. Clarification on this double three energy. And I love these double threes and its reversal. One card to clarify. Boom, magician in its reversal, as we're talking about the magician partnerships. Now remember, and this is what I got to tell you right now, this is why I keep on hearing the magician partnerships are going through a moment where they're having revelations, but of the past. But the healthy relationship is serving as anchor as they're able to navigate them. Why? Because if these are the energies that are working into the partnership of being able to embrace and be embraced in their authenticity, right? That's not to say that there isn't stuff that they're working on. It isn't to say that there aren't things that they're working to improve upon, but it's mutual recognized work of self-improvement. This is the observation of that force of intention that articulates and defines what it is that they're working to correct, immediately resolving and being able to see the past in a different context. Welcome to that Mercury in retrograde, right? When you receive something in the present that you haven't received before, it changes your perspective on everything, right? This is the energy like waking up to the past in a way that they've never woken up before. And that observation, is this the energy that's running back to the past? No, because this is the energy that observes that the healthy partnership, the beautiful gift of healthy partnership is what? Clarified perspective, right? The space by which the environment that one finds oneself, that one is able to look back in the past in a different way, reaffirms our own energetic commitment in relationality to the fact that we're moving in the right direction, right? And that's what I keep on hearing. Like, again, much like we said with the energy and separation right now, the magician partnerships have good direction sense. They've got good direction sense because they understand that if you see something that gives you clarity on the past, that's exactly where you need to be. That's exactly where you need to be. The relationship, and what do we keep on seeing that's happening with a lot of these magician partnerships? This is why it's in reversal. Ironically, it's an illusion-free zone. And so even here, the work of being in relationship, seeing something from the past that one couldn't see before, absolving themselves of the inability to see it, understanding that the healthy relationship is the relationship that helps us find clarity. Continuing to get clarification between our Three of Swords in its reversal, in combination to our Five of Swords in its upright. We've got here our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy right now that's deep within divine union. You will recall that these are those relationships that were coming together from about the time that Mercury and Venus woke up behind Neptune up until the Mars went station direct earlier this year. What are we seeing in a lot of those relationships? I told you, there's a lot of that. I keep on seeing it's like disassembling in order to build back better. It's like it's giving me a lot of like that identification point that you do the work of taking it something apart so that you can get to the heart of it. Like the ability of being able to disassemble something, right? The ability to, I keep on here, and this is what I keep on seeing this ever since Pluto moved into Aquarius, right? Because I keep on, remember, and we talked about this at the time that that shift occurred. Pluto in Capricorn was all about disassociation. Pluto in Capricorn was like, let's just put this over here and not worry about it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of that like out of sight, out of mind kind of energy. And what we're recognizing is that for a lot of the energy that's working through things now, it's not about disassociating, it's about integration. It's not about disassociating, it's about being able to look at something holistically, right? The full scope of something, the complexity that one finds there. And so I keep on hearing there's a lot of work that the energy in deep within divine union is doing, those chariot partnerships, that says the ability to disassemble is the ability to be comprehensive, right? Because it's the ability to be able, not only, I keep on hearing like, not only to be able to like, I keep on hearing like slap a word on something and call it a day, but to be able to articulate upon the importance and the significance of the language itself, right? The ability, I keep on hearing there's a lot of that fine tuning. And so I would not be surprised if there's a lot of energy right now that is doing that work in the space of identifying and working upon nuance, right? Because everything I'm seeing here, this is like saying like it's taking nuanced approaches to complex problems, which is to say that like again, it's a lot of that observation of saying like there's something about that that allows for a little bit of that. I keep on saying that customization, if you will, that ability to identify and to do something in a different way that often allows a breakthrough. Continuing to get clarification between our Five of Swords in its upright in combination with our Nine of Pentacles in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Boom, there's that six, there's that Seven of Swords in its upright. Remember what I said? Here's the thing, my friends. Here's the thing. You know, everybody's got their eye on Uranus and Gemini. Everybody is so focused on Uranus and Gemini that we're not taking consideration to some important factors. One is the fact that Venus is in Gemini, which I feel like is very, very significant because it talks about, I keep on seeing, it talks about the force of love. It talks about the force of love that allows us to, I keep on hearing, extend love, not just, I keep on hearing the unification point of extending love in the space of understanding that we are all each other, right? Like that's what I like about Venus in Gemini, which is to say the experience of saying like the differentiation, the differentiation point between saying, why is this happening to me versus why is this happening to us, right? The identification point of moving out of the context of things that feel like they are occurring to the self versus the understanding that we are all energetically going through things, right? That point of empathy is often indicative of the ego that is energetically healing, right? Because the ego, what does the ego say? The ego only knows, the ego only knows one note, okay? The ego only knows one note. The ego only knows one song. And the ego wants to sing that song all the time. What is the song that the ego wants to sing? Me, 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 me. Me, me, me. It's the only song the ego knows, right? And that's the thing. We all have that song within us. All of us. Every single one of us. And the moment you say you don't have that song within you, you're just not listening carefully. Okay, you're just like that's even worse because you can't hear that song. That's a problem. You got to watch that. Okay. The worst part is when you have that song and you say you don't have it. It's the bass note. It's there. And when we are able to do the work on the self, we understand that that note, that persistent, insistent note of me, is the energy that tries to protect us from everything. And when we are navigating it in a way that feels like it's energetically sustaining, we integrate it into the greater whole, which doesn't mean that we don't pretend it's not there. We observe it, we recognize it, we embrace it, and we make sure that it is in tune with the rest of the with the rest of the energy. Right, with the rest of the energy that's around us. Like that's what we do. And so that's what we're effectively seeing in relationality to, and this is also why it's not to say that sometimes, and we talk about this, sometimes if something is occurring that is not okay, it's all right to be energetically out of tune, right? Because often the space of the self, this is what we talk about in relationality to being able to find the higher self, right? It is the ability of having good direction sense in relationality to when you have those moments and you hear that me note, right? When you feel the ego rise up, when you feel the emotions that run to the surface, you don't just follow where they go. You do the work in understanding why one feels the way one does, right? That introspection point that allows the ability to define meaning as to the me, right? Because sometimes, and this is the thing when we talk about it, and this is the work that we do between the ego and the higher self, right? Sometimes that space of the ego, right? Sometimes the space of the ego rises up, and there's a really, really good reason for it. Sometimes not. And this is why we say it's not the fact that feelings are not valid, but the feelings that are valid are the feelings we can honor. And the things that we honor is the ability to explain why we feel the way we do, right? The ability to put the force of intention upon the energetic emotion. And so that's why I see that for a lot of the energy doing that work, and this is the difference between like a call and an excuse, right? What's the difference between a call and excuse? A call is feeling energetically inspired to move towards something and the ability to explain and articulate why, right? That's the higher self articulating the energetic meaning of something. And that is what allows us to work on the relationship. That's what allows us to work on the self. It is the song of improvement that allows the space by which we are able to recognize and identify what it is that we're working to achieve. Sometimes those emotions rise up just to be protective, just to be defensive, just because something bothers us. And that's what we have to be wary of. We have to be very, very wary of those moments that we feel deeply, deeply, deeply energetically bothered about something. But we can't necessarily identify why. Because often when we say that bothers me, I don't like that, and we go, why? That's the ego, right? Like that is the force by which we have to understand that there's an energetic blind spot within the self. And that ability of doing so, right? That ability of energetically observing, that ability of doing the work to recognize, identify, and define what one is cannot like understand. This is what I meant about this Cancer season, right? Pluto in retrograde, going deep into the self to understand the reason about why one feels the way one does. Because when we are, and this is what we're seeing with a lot of this energy right now in separation, when we do the work to understand ourselves, there is no better gift that we bring counterpart. Because why? Because when we know ourselves and when we come towards counterpart, we say, I bring gifts, not surprises. I bring delightful gifts, not shocking surprises, right? Because that ability of making sure that we know ourselves, and it's the understanding that we can never know ourselves fully. But that pathwork of doing the work to understand ourselves means there isn't going to be a point in a relationship where suddenly something happens and you recognize yourself and now you're an entirely different person. There are relationships that break under these constructs, right? And that is the space where, like, again, this is why the work that we do in understanding ourselves creates the stabilization point in partnership, because it is the gift, it is the gift that we bring another that says, I understand who I am. And further, that's, I mean, like, I might continue further to deepen in terms of that, but I'm not going to surprise you by becoming something that you're not experiencing here, right? And this is why we see that for some of these relationships, the work on being in separation and doing this work is so fundamental, because this is the energy that says, as I work upon the self, I arrive complete to partnership. Continuing to get clarification between our Nine of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our Lover's card in its reversal. Can I please get one card to clarify, please? Woo! I want to show you this. I want to show you this. If you're watching, if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you take an opportunity to head over to the Substack to see today's spread, right? Lover's card in its reversal, clarified with the Two of Cups. So what are we talking about here? This is what I meant about these magician relationships right now. I told you a lot of those magician relationships moving deeper into connection, releasing a lot of ire. Why are they releasing a lot of ire? Because if these are situations and circumstances wherein right? The mutual appreciation found in partnership. Remember, these are the relationships that we're identifying and recognizing, doing the work of the authentic relationship, being held in the authenticity of the self. What are they receiving in partnership? The definition and understanding of what was missing in past relationship. And that's either something that they identify was something that was being caused within or something that they experienced without. Are these the energies that are running back to those past situations because they've had that breakthrough? No, because these are the relationships that understand. I told you, the clear mirror of partnership, the gift of the relationship that creates the clear mirror by which you can see what was energetically wrong in the past. That observation of identifying the source of healing through the healthy partnership. Continuing to get clarification for the energy deep within divine union right now. Can I please get clarification between our Magician card in combination with our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal? We've got here our Ace of Swords in its reversal. What are we seeing right now with this Ace of Swords in its reversal? It's not easy. It's not indulgent, right? The healthy manifestation that is allowing for the context by which one can see more. The healthy manifestation by which you are able to identify and recognize what it is that you're trying to work on doing better. There's a lot of, I keep on hearing, there's a lot of fine tuning that's occurring right now deep within divine union. And why are we seeing a lot of that fine tuning deep within divine union? Because it is that observation and recognition point of understanding and defining what one is trying to do better, right? There's a lot of, like, I keep on hearing, like, it's a lot of that minutia. It's a lot of that, those tiny spaces by which one is working upon energetic details. And so I find it really interesting because every time I read for this right now, for a lot of the energy deep within divine union, it feels like, I keep on hearing, like, it feels like fine tuning, because it is the space by which one is able to specify upon something that one feels, being able to articulate and notice the differences. And so I see even now, like, that's what I meant in relationality to roaring and defining roars, right? The articulation between the difference of a roar that only comes from the space of protecting the self, right? That overprotectiveness by which it makes it impossible to be able to do something, versus, right? Versus that work that allows the context by which one is able to recognize and articulate why something is important, right? A lot of that work. So I just keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy, that deep integration of the self. This is why I see a lot of that energy right now in Fool energy, in the space of being the perpetual student. Continuing to get clarification between our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal, in combination with our 7 of Swords in its upright. We have here the Hermit card. And for the Hermit card, what we're effectively seeing is, I'm just recognizing and observing that a lot of the energy doing this work right now, and I got to tell you, like, the Hermit card in its reversal with the Magician card in its reversal, it's a lot of what I said before in relationality to the aspect or the conscientious point of the vulnerability that becomes the greatest strength, right? When we're in the space where we're able to amplify and articulate how we feel, when we're able to express upon vulnerability, it becomes our energetic strong suit. Because it's not, I keep on hearing, the fallacy of perfection is the fallacy that says, the space by which one does not say that there isn't anything to be done, right? That perfection point is something that we achieve by recognizing and identifying what we are trying to do better. It is the observation point of being a work in progress that allows the work to continue and to begin, right? And so I feel like even now, like the one thing I'm going to tell you, and this is what I'm kind of like trying to prepare you for, is I know that everybody is all concerned about, everybody's all concerned about Uranus and Gemini. But I think the thing what you have to observe and recognize and identify is more the fact that we've got 3 planets that are about to go to station retrograde in Aries. And that is a lot. I keep on hearing like that is a lot of that point in like, I keep on hearing digging the heels in relationality to articulating and defining what one cares about. It's understanding what it's going to take to get there. It's the observation, and often often like when we're doing that work, what it's going to take to get there is the work on the self, right? Oh, I got to learn this now. I got to do this. I got to focus on this, right? It's being able to see the path work, right? And again, a lot of that work that we're seeing there, I want to say I feel like, especially with the fact that we've got Venus in Gemini, I feel like it's going to feel like there's a lot of work that's being done in the space of love as it relates to dual path work. And what do we mean by dual path work? And this is what I meant about the energy and separation. Like I see a lot of energy and separation working on the space of self-improvement. But this is also the energy that effectively defines and recognizes, that says, like, what is the energy and separation saying? Working on the self is not selfish, as long as it doesn't just feel like it affirms the self. It's the space of understanding the work that you're trying to put into the self, because that is the greatest gift that you bring to partnership. You know, like that's why I keep on hearing the energy saying, I'm doing this work for 2. I'm doing this work because it's mutual, because not only is it something that is good for me, but it's ideal for the counterpart I know that is going to recognize and identify that. Like it's saying, keep on hearing the energy too, saying, I'm healing for 2, right? And that healing for 2 is the observation of the work that we do that becomes a blessing in a divine connection. There's also, and this is what I keep on seeing, and this is why I told you that a lot of those magician partnerships right now are releasing ire. Why are the magician partnerships releasing ire? Because it's the observation that what is considered a gift, what is considered a blessing in healthy counterpart connection, will be amplified as a detriment in unhealthy connection, right? And this is why I see that there's so much of that ire that's being released right now for a lot of those magician partnerships that are moving deeper into union, because it's the observation. I just keep on hearing the same message. Someone cannot say you are needy if you have a fixed point of need. Having a fixed point of need isn't needy. A neediness is a need that's like everywhere. Like a need that goes like this. That is neediness. The undefinable need that can never be caught, right? That is neediness. Okay. A defined need, a fixed need is an energetic standard. Okay. A fixed need is an energetic standard. And so I see that this is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing that a lot of that energy, as they're moving deeper into connection, is observing. Emotions don't break relationship, they fortify it. It's the glue. It's the most important thing. But for an energy that does not want something invested, they're going to look at emotions as sticky. They're going to be like, I don't want any of that. You're ruining the relationship with emotions. Understanding that emotions are the glue in a healthy relationship, so long as, again, the same work on the egoic space, so long as we do the work to understand what the emotions are asking for. So, but all I keep on seeing with this is why I keep on hearing the healthy relationship. This is energy that's moving deeper into partnership, anchored by the healthy connection, anchored by the relationship by which they're able to observe all these things in the past that they couldn't see before. But are they running back there? No. They're observing them because it's a healthy relationship that provides that energetic perspective. Continuing to get clarified, but it's not, doesn't mean that it's not easy. I can keep on hearing, that's what I meant. Like the energy right now, moving deeper into divine union, is going through it because their love is showing them things that they could not see before. And that's like opening up a whole new realm of healing that they need to set their intentions towards. Continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Swords in combination with our Two of Cups. We've got here our Queen of Cups in its upright. And so for a lot of the energy, this is having a different impact on masculine and feminine energy right now. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what one feels most aligned to. And I'm not surprised to see it. Remember when I said there's a lot of nuance work that's happening right now for energy deep within divine union? Feminine, it's much more busy bee right now. I see feminine like all over the place, like having to go like hitting a bunch of different notes at once. It's a lot of like, there's a lot of that. I told you it's Venus and Gemini. So for a lot of the feminine energy, it may be feeling like you're trying to do, like I see the energy of the feminine, like trying to like meet a bunch of needs at the same time while also not losing the center of oneself. Like it's very like, it's very much like, it's interesting because I was saying this before as a negative, but I need to point this out. It's the difference. It's not the feminine energy that is being energetically needy. It's a feminine energy moving to meet a lot of different energetic needs, right? Like this is a lot of the feminine that's doing that work in an integrated fashion. For masculine, it's much more contemplative here, is what I'm seeing. There's much more, there's a lot of, I told you, there's like, it's percolating energy right now, deep within divine union. Feminine, it's more external. Masculine, it's more internal. But that's what I think is interesting here because look, I mean, I know it seems a little hard to explain, but this is actually a positive space for the counterparts to be in because it talks about the fact that like a healthy relationship is one, like, it's like, I keep on hearing it's interdependent, which is like the interdependent means like the ability to do different things and understand that one is doing the same thing in different ways, if that makes sense. You know, we're going to talk more. That word's been coming up a lot in the last few days with reading. So we're going to delve into that deeper, continuing. That's something that we'll talk towards later in future readings. So continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Swords. I'm going to get into it now. Okay. Between our Ace of Swords and its reversal and our Hermit card. It's an interdependence. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the nine, nine of cups. Why are we hearing interdependent? Interdependent is the idea of understanding that the dependence that we find, like something that we are asking for, is not something that is selfish, so long as it is mutually shared. That's why I keep on hearing the word interdependent. And I feel like the reason the word's coming up is I feel like there's some energy in healing right now that was trying to articulate and see another person's healing journey as selfish. I'm straight up seeing something where someone was trying to articulate the inquiry of the self as selfishness. But this is why I keep on hearing this message that's coming through. It's not selfish to be very critical about the self because it is the greatest gift that you give to those around you, so long as you hold it in the right fashion, right? Self of like the obsession with the self. Remember that me energy is one that you only see the context of the self, not in accordance with those that are surrounding the self, right? It's the observation that says only me, right? like only me. And we have that tendency. But this is why I hear that there's a lot of energy building into relationship where someone is saying, it doesn't sound like selfishness to me. Because when we are interdependent, it is the understanding that we are doing something that we would eagerly desire to be seen in an energetic counterpart. right? It is the observation. It is, I keep on hearing, it's not selfish if you see it in another person and you say goody. Is what I keep on hearing. It's not selfish if you see it in another person and you say great. It's like, it's the excitement. It's the excitement that you observe there. It's the identification point of that delight. This is how we move to our joy. It is the interdependence that we experience that says that is not the dependence that is exclusive, right? Because the egoic journey is one that says me and only me. And you see that in others and you go, boo. But the interdependence is that modality or that moment that you experience something from another and you feel that sense of energetic delight. You feel that sense of energetic restoration. And this is what I keep on seeing is important in a lot of those relationships because it is, I keep on hearing the reason that these relationships that are coming together right now are holistic is it is the sense of observing, right? The mutual work, the identification point that is expressed and shared together that allows the context by which all things are possible. And this is often, as I mentioned, like that sense of exclusivity. Like this is why we keep on hearing that work is always mutual because that's what we talk about when it talks about alignment. This is why we say that there isn't some kind of like set path by which you can find healthy partnership. A lot of the work that we do in finding healthy partnership is understanding what feels right for us and then building that interdependence in not only does it feel right for us, but we love to see it in the energy around us. It's like, right? It's like that. It's a celebration, right? It's that identification point that allows that context by which things can grow and change and adapt. Now, and this is what we see right now for a lot of the energy moving deeper into divine connection. Because I want to show you right now, are these cards in lockstep? No, these are not the exact similar cards that we're seeing here. This is, and I want to say though, there is a similarity to these cards because you see both of these energies right now are percolating. Okay. Feminine is doing it more external, outside of the self. Masculine is doing it more internally. And so we observe that in the context of them doing this work, right? It's the observation that it doesn't always require us to embody the work in the same way, right? But it moves in the same direction. It's the same space. Continuing to get clarification here between our Hermit card in its reversal in combination with our Queen of Cups in its upright. We have here our Three of Pentacles in its reversal. What are we seeing right now with the Three of Pentacles in its reversal? For masculine and feminine energy right now that is deep within divine union, I'm just recognizing and identifying. I need to point this out. I told you, this is what I mean about fine tuning. Like this Nine of Cups in combination with our Three of Pentacles in its reversal. There's a lot of this work that we're potentially energetically seeing as it relates to like working on something in such a way. I keep on hearing working on something in such a way that one is able to recognize and identify what one is working on doing in a better way. And that's what I meant in relationality to masculine and feminine doing that work in different ways. For feminine, I just keep on seeing that this is the feminine energy that is like, I keep on hearing like doing a lot of work outside of the self. It's a lot of the feminine energy. I keep on hearing like this is a lot of the feminine energy that is finding, I keep on hearing finding that capacity or that ability to be able to articulate and define what they energetically care about. And that's why I keep on hearing that for a lot of the feminine energy, doing that work, like I just keep on seeing that, like, it's interesting because I feel like I keep on hearing feminine energy is drawing lines, which is the space by saying that the feminine energy holding their own energetic standards, right? That is the energy that says, I am held when I draw lines, because when others hold that energetic line for me, then that is the energy of the feminine that says, I feel energetically safe. And this is why we keep on seeing that I keep on hearing for feminine, it is the amplification and articulation point of courtesy, which is the courtesy by which others are energetically respective of where those energetic lines are drawn, right? Because I keep on hearing like that is the work that we do, right? Like that is the work that we do when we care about each other, right? The force of care is such that we honor each other's choices and we celebrate the ability to be able to make them. And so that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, deep within divine union, that conversation, that ability to recognize and identify what that work is. I keep on hearing it's concentric because it's concentric insofar as we see that this is the energy that amplifies and articulates upon what that work feels like. This is the energy that I keep on seeing deep within divine union that is talking towards things. But again, the emotions that don't just talk in the negation, it's the energy of the emotion that wants to create things, wants to build things, wants to articulate upon an energetic vision. And this is why we see that the energy of the feminine kind of being in that modality of creativeness. Like this is the feminine that is able to articulate and amplify the reason that one feels in such a way that is able to derive and define meaning, right? It's being able to talk about that in such a way that feels like it is expansive and comprehensive. And this is helping. I keep on hearing, like I told you, it's bridge building energy. It's the ability to articulate and amplify that. It's the ability to identify and recognize what that work feels like. For masculine energy, I keep on seeing for masculine energy, it's more, I keep on seeing it's more about the space of being able to amplify and articulate and define what one is trying to do in a greater way. And one of the things we're seeing here that I think is so beautiful is for a lot of the masculine energy that's doing this work, it's like I keep on hearing like this is the masculine that is working into the space of communicating upon their feelings. It's the masculine energy that is doing that work to be able to articulate, to recognize, identify, and define what it is that they're energetically invested upon. And so we see even now, like that space of the amplification point in being able to articulate upon the energetic power of choice. Like this is a lot of the energy that is able, I keep on hearing, like for masculine and feminine, that ability to recognize, identify, fine tune, to work on something in a way that one is able to, I keep on hearing, like advance upon the communication of something. This is the enlargement of a manifestation goal because it's the ability, I keep on hearing, it's like what is the energy deep within divine union doing? They're talking about their vision, right? They're talking about their aspiration. And I keep on hearing that the manifestation that is communicated is the manifestation that is mutually shared. Final card for today's spread between our 9 of Cups in its upright in combination with our 3 of Pentacles in its reversal. Woo! I like it. We've got here our 3 of Wands in its upright. This is exactly what I meant in relationality to articulating upon our energetic vision, right? And that's what I mean. A healthy manifestation goal is interdependent in the space that we can identify. It's a manifestation goal that would eagerly be shared by those around us. This is usually the identification point of something that we are doing in a healthy fashion, right? And this is often why we have to be very, very conscientious if there's work that we're doing that feels like it is energetically exclusive, right? Because when we're wanting to do something that is energetically exclusive, it can often articulate about the space of identifying and recognizing, working more in the space of the ego, right? It's that I keep on hearing unique, not exclusive, right? Because unique is the gift of the is the gift of the exquisite perception. We are all energetically unique, right? And this is what we have to start to heal, because when we start to become deeply invested in our own uniqueness, then we start to shed away from the unhealthy dynamic of working towards perfection. Because perfection is the space of holding another's template in such a way that you do not honor your own, right? When we celebrate energetic uniqueness, then we allow the context of being able to go on the journey where we're not building into the context of worrying about comparison. Why? Because comparison is the thief of joy. It's far too easy to look around the self and get stressed because you're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You're not supposed to be doing that. What are you doing? It's the ability. It's like the joy. The joy comes in looking at the personal journey of the self as a quest to discover one's own uniqueness. Because when we look at our lives as a journey, a quest to find our own uniqueness, we are surprised and delighted when we see dissimilarity. Okay, we are surprised and delighted when we discover dissimilarity. Because in that moment we say, "Oh, good, I become exquisite." Okay, right? It's like that moment where like we don't go, "Oh no," you know what I mean? It's like we don't beat ourselves up over it. We do a little dance, right? And so I feel like there's a lot of that energy that is doing that work right now. And so for a lot of the energy that's doing that work, like that ability, like I keep on hearing the energy that's like in separation. I told you, these are the temperance relationships. They're map makers. And what are the map makers doing? They're going on a quest. Like, they're going on a quest to find their own uniqueness, right? And that's the energy that says, I'm going on a quest to find my own uniqueness, understanding that not everybody's going to like that. Not everybody's going to like that. But even in this, but that's the thing, in the space that you are embracing your uniqueness and another person sees it and goes, ugh, you go, okay, see you later. It's cool. It's not yours. It's okay. It's like, it's not for you, right? It's the observation and the recognition point of being able to identify and just like move in accordance to that, right? It's the foundational point by which we are able to find ourselves. And often the way that we find ourselves is not so much perseverating about being able to move in accordance with those around us, but being able to identify what makes us uniquely ourselves, what makes us the ability, like what identifies us as energetically unique. And so I feel like there's a lot of that energy that is in separation, that is, and I keep on seeing that not just, and it's I keep wondering, not just the satisfaction point in finding that, right? But the identification point on what one is working to do in a better way, right? It's not just, I keep wondering, it's not about just resting on the laurels of the self. It's understanding what one is trying to work upon to become an even better version of the self, but not getting too hard on the self in the process. While for mass and that's what I keep on seeing that's happening right now for the energy in separation, either doing that energy in separation, and even in the context of doing it in separation, they're saying I'm doing the work for two. Why are they saying I'm doing the work for two? Because they say the greatest gift I bring to counterpart is that full understanding of self, knowing that it will never be perfect, because that means all delights, no unhealthy surprises when when you enter the energetic relationship, and all of a sudden you start seeing things differently, right? You start seeing things differently, but you are fortified in the context of the anchored self that allows the ability to be able to feel fortified, even as your own perception of things is rocked. This is what's happening right now for a lot of the energy that is moving deeper into divine union. What is happening to the energy moving deeper into divine union? They are coming into relationship. All of a sudden, the past looks way different than it did before because they're finding what they were energetically looking for. And when you find what you're energetically looking for, it becomes a lot easier to see what was missing. Are these the energies that are being tempest tossed in that? Are they rushing back to the past? No, they're steadily anchored in the partnership. The perception and value of the energetic partnership that it gives one the clarity of feeling the nourishment of the healthy relationship is the relationship that helps one see more clearly. And so that's why I see for a lot of that relationship, that is the energy that is feeling rocked but fortified at that rocking. Continuing, welcome to Capricorn full moon and Cancer season. While for masculine and feminine, deep within divine union, this is a lot of the energy that we're seeing that is working on fine-tunement. Why are we hearing fine-tunement? Because it's the observation, the recognition, and identification point of what one is trying to facilitate within the self. The expansion of a manifestation goal. For a lot of that energy, that maturation point of some of those chariot relationships, arriving to something, right? And in the moment that they arrive, the manifestation point expands, being able to see something in a bigger way, having a bigger dream, right? And the beauty, and often the song you will hear as you're building a bigger dream is, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Because it requires one to learn more. It requires one to grow. So I keep on seeing that a lot of that energy is working through the nuance of the self, identifying and recognizing what their path work is as it relates to what they are doing and how they are hoping to grow. But what's beautiful about that, and I told you with the Hermit card and the Queen of Cups, this is a lot of that energy that's doing so in a way that there's a lot of contemplation. There's a lot of percolation. There's a lot of that, I keep on hearing, like a lot of that space of being able to recognize and identify all for the hope of being able to see again what one is trying to work upon within the self in a different way to be able to move one with greater ease towards that expanding manifestation. Bottom of the deck on this reading here, Five of Pentacles in its upright. This is all that energy about to go retrograde. You know, the one thing we have to observe right now is there's a lot of the context of working through the space of anxiety and fear, right? There's a lot of that worry. There's a lot of that frustration. Allow the frustration to fortify you. Put the frustration somewhere that it helps, right? Because when we hold frustration within, it damages us, right? But when we take the frustration as a call and move the frustration into a space that it feels like it's moving something into a point of improvement, this is how we heal. I know it's hard to believe. Everything we have is a gift, even our anxiety, even our frustration, right? Because it is the space by which we are able to inform ourselves as to what it is that we want to do better, right? And so when we allow that, like I keep on seeing, don't let the anxiety deplete you. Let it your anxiety becomes absolved when you move it into a space of resolve. The ability to change, the ability to adapt, the ability to grow, the ability to kind of work into the space of being able to identify and recognize what one is working to improve upon. So if you're feeling this right now, if you're feeling like a lot of that space, I want you to think about how to move it into something that feels like it eases it, because that is what our force of care is, right? It is the care that we move into, remember, anxiety is the care that we feel towards things. And resolution is the work that we do to heal that anxiety, to be able to shore up something in such a way that we can never know what it will occur, but we can do our best to move towards a direction that we aspire something to go. That is where we find, that is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you so much for being here and receiving it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my site. Please keep in mind, if you book a reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site. So I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, I'd like to thank everyone who attended our recent class on the Temperance card. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, July 16th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Devil card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my Substack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up, but if you wanted to catch up, it's a great time to do so. You got a few days before that next class. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything we've learned or have studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my Substack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, you will also receive a complimentary. You will also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 15 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals moving forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader, as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events, as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any giveaway information. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. I'm also very happy to offer, for those who are seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings. You can purchase these per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again on Monday. That is our daily collective read for today. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Fig, congratulations. You got our highest gifter today. And Dragons, you came in second, so you will have an additional card in your reading. If anyone wants to get on the list for today, the list is open. You will be the second person read for. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book a private reading on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading, but if you'd like to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. The list is nice and short. You'll be the second person read for, and I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was giving that reading. Mariana, I'm happy to read for you on that. If you'd like to get on the list, list is open. All you need to do is send the donation. You'll be added to the list. Also, for those who are joining us across the other apps, if you want to get on the list for today as well, you can do so via my tree that is being sent in my Lio. And thank you. Gia, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Takara, thank you so much, dear. Good to see you today. I know I'm on early. I got a lot to do today, Fig. I got a busy day. Holy tired. Good morning. Grand Rising, little vamp. The full moon did a number on me. I know it was a heavy one, right? It was intense. This Pisces is learning a lot. Sending you support, Takara. Grand Rising, Oracle, Erica. So good to see you. Van Helsing. This is describing my current relationship that's on the brink of a breakup because of ego issues. Sending you so much support on that, Val. I know that's not easy. Uranus and Gemini I know Uranus and Gemini is significant, but I feel like we're not talking about some of the factors around it. You know, there's some big external factors surrounding it too. Yeah, and Pluto being in Aquarius. We've been talking a lot about that as well, Gwendolyn. Yeah, he's got to get rid of that ego. I mean, and here's the thing, I got to stress this. It's not about getting rid of the ego. We talk about this here. There's never are we more danger than we talk about the fact that we've gotten rid of it, is making sure that it's healthy, you know? Thank you for the morning reading, off to work. You have a great day, Takara. And Cassandra, thank you for those gifts. Reese, this is insanely accurate to the conversation I'm having with my partner. Thank you for confirmation. I got you. You had great. You kicked some butt at that interview, Grace. And Raven, thank you for the follow. Daniel, you can always ask questions, but if you want cards pulled, you have to send a donation. Ari, no, literally, my man will do anything but face his ego. But here's the thing, right? Like the ability to observe and recognize it, right? The ability to identify it. That's how we heal it. And hi there, Dream, the Dream in Pieces. How are you doing today, Quantum? Welcome. And thank you as well. Yeah, I'm responding to them now. Thank you for clarifying to them, Fig. V, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Smart girl, welcome. That one needed chewed on a little. Sometimes it does. All right. And thank you for the gifts, guys. And to Sunshine, thank you for the follow. Grand Rising, Bonnie. It's a lot happening in Aries. It's a lot. There's a lot happening in Gemini too. And again, it's like we have to be conscientious with Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron in Aries, going going retrograde, because it's working on the context of hard feelings. Hi there, KJ. Jose, we are never messes. We are all messes and we are never messes. It's about identifying what it is that we're working on healing. Happy to read for you on that deeper if you'd like to get on the list. Thank you as well, Afrino. Good vibes to you as well. Hannah, thank you for getting on the list here. You'll be the second person read for today. If anyone, you'll also have an additional card in your reading. If anyone else wants to get on the list for today, you'll be the third person read for. I just sent my teacher your. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Fig. Thank you. And Nikita, thank you for sharing the live. Adam, thank you for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. Mai, thank you for the follow. Brandy, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. And Abby, thank you for those hearts, dear. Dragons, thank you for those gifts. Wow, wow. Thank you as well, Christine, for receiving these messages. Hi there, Dal, Grand Rising. Ivan, I'm happy to read for you on that. If you'd like to get on the list, you'll be the third person read for. Oh, sending you support, doing the work for two. Well, make sure you're not doing all the work. Remember, if you're doing it for like the energetic counterpart that you're building towards, that's good. But if you're in relationship, make sure that you're having mutual identification on where the work is. Thank you, Christine, for the follow. You've nailed my situation to a T. Thank you so much for being here and receiving these messages. And thank you as well, Dragons. Jersey, thank you for the follow. Fig, thank you for those gifts. Looking forward to our reading. Gia, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Hannah, my focus has been so bad this week. It's really frustrating. Yeah, here's the thing. If you've got Gemini placements right now, and with Uranus in Gemini and Venus in Gemini, it can feel like you're being called in like multiple directions. So I keep on hearing, make sure that you're writing lists, make sure you're prioritizing in order to get things done. Adam, thank you for sharing the live. During the cap full moon, I don't know if that's even why. I feel like the cap full moon is about the setting of intentions, you know? All right. Little Miss and I set out intention water last night. That's incredible, Fig. Aries here. And exactly. Thank you for receiving this message. Grand Rising, Bridget. Good to see you today. All right, friends, we're going to get started on personal readings. If you want to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for, the third person read for. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. While we, first person we're reading for today is Fig. Fig, if you're here, can you let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And while we wait for Fig, we're going to do another intuition check. I've got the card here. We're going to count back from 10. Let me know your impressions in the comments, and we'll see who gets closest to it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the hair. Thank you guys so much for participating. Fig, thank you for letting me know we've got some inside tea. Just a reminder, if you get on the list and you have information that you would like to share with me, if you have, for instance, a dream that you would like interpreted or a past life you would like more information on, you can include those in the notes when you send the donation, or you can post them in our subscriber-only Discord channel in the appropriate channels. All right, I'm going to take a moment to read over Fig's question. It is inside tea. For anyone else who would like to get on the list for today, we are doing life path here, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship, love readings, dream interpretation, and guide messages. All right. I'm sending you so much support. Sending you so much support. And one more, please. I see that. I keep on seeing that you should like, you've taught someone that it's safe to speak their truth, is what I keep on seeing. That I feel like there's, I feel like I have the sense of someone who was working in the context of having to recognize and identify, like, the space by which, like, it is energetically safe to articulate upon something, like something that happened to them, is what I keep on seeing. And I feel like, I see some kind of situation here where, I see someone talking towards the energetic complications that they feel around something, like how much harder it's made them feel about something here. I'm also seeing, like, the space by which, I just keep on hearing the word autonomy, which is the observation of saying that, and I keep on hearing from the guides, like, autonomy is not just the space by which we are able to navigate and identify, like, the sense of self, but it's also via the realm of communication. the ability to speak upon something in such a way that says, this is the truth by which I experience something. This is how, like, this is how something energetically felt to me. And I feel like that is, like, I can see even now, I see somebody kind of like, I think that there's something that you should be energetically prepared for in relationality to them, like worrying as to whether it was right for them to speak upon something, is all I keep on seeing. Like some kind of ability of being able to like recognize and identify um, like their own ability to say, to be safe in the space of having expressed a truth. And I feel like that is, I actually feel like that the most important thing that you can do right now is continue, like the guides are saying, um, allowing the context of another person seeing that, like I keep on hearing, everything is normal, right? Like I feel like I feel like that's the difficulty point I'm seeing. Like the guide, you've got a guide on the other side that's talking about this. Often the anxiety point in terms of articulating a truth is the vector or the facet of fearing something will change, right, as a result of navigating that truth. And so I keep on seeing that in a way, the most important thing you can do right now is letting someone know nothing has changed, right? Like the observation of them being able to feel the safety of the normalcy, like that is still exists and still around them, right? Like the reality that does not get fractured in the context of them articulating upon something that they've been saying, but showing that, like allowing them to feel the fortification of the reality that says it's safe to express something, and it's not, I keep on hearing, it's not going to become the focal point of everything, is what I keep on saying. Like almost I keep on hearing, there's something about the observation of the truth that is revealed and not centered, is all I keep on hearing. The observation of a truth that can be revealed and not centered, which is the space that says it's only centered if they choose to center it, right? Like not something that becomes their, like the truth that does not become their overriding reality, something that they need to express and face in every single moment or every single context, but almost that identification point of like I keep on hearing, you have to hold, like you have to hold their truth, like you have to hold their truth with an open palm, which is to say, if you want to land upon it, if it's something that you want to speak about, I'm available to it, but you're not going to try to grab for it, right? Like it's that space of saying, like, if you're ever ready to talk more about it, you can, but I'm not going to chase after you for it. Because I feel like that is the, I see somebody like who's in a little bit of that delicacy point. And so I feel like that is kind of the vibration that you can bring to a situation to help them through it, which is, again, I keep on hearing, think of an open palm, which is to say, like, be that open palm, which is to say, I am here, but I'm not gonna force that conversation. I'm not going to like make you, we're not gonna have to like, we're not gonna like, I'm not gonna force you to face it, because it's yours to navigate how you want to like communicate upon it, you know? And I feel like you're already doing that. And I can see how hard it is for you, right? Like I can see it. It's almost like I see the fact that it's almost like requiring you to suppress some kind of volatility. Because I almost see like there's that space of you kind of building into the pathwork of like wanting to expand or expound upon something further. I do have one card for them too. Yeah, Eight of Wands, right? Like beautiful energy here, which is that the ability to kind of say, like, look, like the normalcy, the normalcy of saying something potentially inflammatory, but nothing, everything continuing to move, like everything just continuing the way it was, is what I keep on seeing, right? It's like the energy that says, like, look, you can say something that's difficult and it doesn't disrupt. right? It's like the energy that says it's going to be fine because it doesn't. I keep on hearing it doesn't create a roadblock. It's just something that we now energetically carry together. So I feel like it's like that observation of the solidarity that you bring to another person that says we are still solid, right? Like we are still solid. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like even here, I can see the energetic anxiety point in relationality to the observation or the recognition point of I feel like I feel like there's an anxiety point as it relates to another person's perception of them. But that in itself is what I kind of see to a certain extent, which I feel like that is the thing that's difficult. Is like I feel like it's the context by which you have to communicate that no one is upset with them for articulating upon something, right? Like it's the observation of helping them navigate their own conflicted feelings directed towards a person. Because I see someone here that's like working through that space of like it's like the energy that like what does one do when one is hurt by someone one seeks approval towards, right? It's an impossible situation because when we're energetically hurt by someone we seek approval from, it can create that space of feeling or worrying about it. But that's why I keep on hearing that like the space by which we are energetically supportive of each other is like almost you communicating that when we love one another, we don't want to create a space where we have to carry hurts for each other, right? We want to articulate that we're feeling hurt so that we can do something energetically better. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Fig. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers, being Simulayo. Please keep in mind, there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. Next person, I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading, but if you want to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for. The list is nice and short right now. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Also, friends, we are at 12.1K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective in the form of a random drawing. So make sure you're tapping that screen and we'll get to 50K in no time. All right, where were we? And Adam, thank you for sharing the live, dear. Gia, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. And Jersey, thank you for the follow. Hannah, sending you support, dear. Oh my God, I'm half asleep listening and I saw a man wearing bunny ears in my head. I love that. And I would have said bunny. Oh my God, you would have nailed it. You see that? See that, Nikki? That's awesome. I'm so proud of her. You should be. Yes, because sometimes the truth hurts and the role she misses will be removed because of telling exactly truth. I've done my best to not make it a focal point, continue to do so. Correct. I never force the issue or to be or told. Exactly. That I know, intense moon, huh, Prince? Yeah, it did look like a phoenix carrying a match. Exactly. But that's the thing. I keep on seeing like I want to say like the thing you see about that though, it's the solidarity of the energy around them, you know, like the words that they speak that are energetically supported. I feel like guilt is going to be something to navigate soon. Yeah, but that's what I mean in terms of like understanding it's not their guilt to carry, you know? Like that's the thing I keep on hearing. Like I keep on hearing healthy energy should not put each other in the space that they have to carry guilt. Yep. I found that my mom stood up for me. You are healing this so much just by seeing her. Tap to claim. Thank you guys for supporting each other in the comments. Yeah, some of you have an idea of the issue. And again, sending you so much support, dear. Sending you so much support. All right, we're going to continue right now. The next person on the list is Hannah. Hannah, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And while we wait for Hannah, we're going to do another intuition check. If anyone wants to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the second person read for. We do life path readings here, highest priority messages from spirit. We do past life. We do angelic guidance. We do pet readings. We do animal spirit guide readings. We do mediumship. We do love readings. We do dream interpretations, and we do guided messages. All right, I've got our animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. Go ahead and let me know your impressions in the comments, and when we reach 1, I will reveal the card. I did. I mentioned it, Nikki. That's crazy. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, because you're half asleep. 2, 1. Blackbird. Thank you guys so much for participating. We'll do that after the next reading. All right. Hannah, my dear, what are we reading for today? I'm not seeing you, Hannah. Where are you, dear? Yeah, half asleep. I know I'm on early today. I got a lot to do. It's a busy day. Busy, busy, busy. All right. Second call right now for Hannah. Second call right now for Hannah. So everyone's on in the dragon end. Oh no, you see, yeah, everyone's doing. Hannah, it's not coming through, dear. So Polo, you might need to rephrase the question, Hannah. You might need to rephrase the question, or you may need to rephrase the question. Oh, I got you. Okay, so we're just doing a general. Okay, cool. And if anybody wants to get on the list right now, it is a great time to get on the list. You'll be the next person read for. The list is usually not this short. So if you want to seize upon a fast reading today, now's your opportunity. All right, can I get a general? One moment, please. All right, and also, friends, we are at 12.6K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. Oh, Strega, why are you doing that, dude? It's so weird. I'm judging you. Ugh. I'm sorry. So Strega has this like furry cat bed, and I just think it's funny because she has no hair and she's licking the fur on the cat bed. So it's like oh, you feeling sentimental there? You feeling sentimental? Oh, I appreciate that, Fig. And again, I'm sending you so much support. So much support. Okay, general, please, for Hannah. Whoa, this full moon had an impact on you. Oh, I never saw it that way. I never saw it that way. I never saw it that way. Ooh, what happened? What happened? That, I keep on hearing that's one way to look at it. That's one way to look at it. I keep on hearing that's like this is I never thought of it that way. I keep on hearing like this feels to me like this is the full moon of I never thought of it that way. There's a message coming through in relationality to intentional obtuseness. Like there's something coming through as it relates to intentional obtuseness. And what is intentional obtuseness? Intentional obtuseness is the is the context wherein we pretend we don't understand, like someone who pretends not to understand something in order to avoid doing something. You know? Like it's that like, "Oh, like I guess I'm not good at anything" kind of energy, you know? Um, and I keep on seeing, like, there's nothing more frustrating than when someone, like, I feel like I keep on seeing, like, some kind of experience where you're looking at something in the past where it's like, you know, I keep on hearing, like, there's the ability to, like, there's the ability that we're not able to do something because we generally don't need to, like, because we generally don't need to learn, right? And I keep on hearing there's a message coming through with this that says you can usually tell the difference between someone that messes something up and they want to do better because they will articulate, like they'll say, like, this is what I'm going to do next time, like, to avoid that happening, like the observation about what one is trying to do in such a way to be able to improve upon a situation or circumstance versus the energy that goes, I guess I can't do anything right. Right? Like when you say, I keep on hearing, I guess I can't do anything right. Like it's the throwing up the hands, which is the hands that throw up that say, I guess you won't ask me to do anything now. Like I keep on hearing when someone throws up their hands and goes, I guess I can't do anything right. What they're really saying is, ta-da. They're going, ta-da, bow. It's like, which is the space by which another person is like is creating the environment by which it's like the confusion that is intentional. You're not doing that. And I keep on seeing that there's something about the way you feel right now that is helping you build clarity on it. Because I keep on hearing there's something that you're currently experiencing, something about your fluster. I keep on getting. Like, and what is fluster? Like fluster is when like fluster is when one is doing everything one can to fix something, right? It's like the feeling of being flustered is one that you're just feeling like, I keep on hearing, like a little scatterbrained, but then you're like in that space that you're like you're putting more intention to things, like trying to put that path of correctiveness to it. And I keep on hearing there's something about this energy right now that says pay attention to your fluster. And the reason they're saying pay attention to your fluster is they're saying observe what you do to navigate it. Observe what you're doing to try to right that ship. Because something about you feeling energetically flustered right now and doing everything you can to try to remediate for it is going to give you clarity around a situation in the past where another person I keep on hearing, kept blaming their fluster for why they weren't doing something. But I keep on hearing I keep on hearing the fluster-free zone is the energetic fluster that we're always continually trying to do something better. It's the energetic fluster that we say, like, forgive me, like, hold on, like, I just need, like, it's like, I just need a moment, like the ability of basically being able to, I keep on hearing, typically when you're flustered, when you're truly flustered, you scrabble, is what I keep on getting. When one is truly flustered, one scrabbles, which is to say that one usually comes into the space that one is trying to make up for the fluster, by which you're doing everything you can to try to remediate for it, right? And I feel like there's something about this, and they're saying pay attention to how you navigate fluster, because it's going to be revealing to you about some kind of experience in the past where someone was trying to use their fluster as an excuse for not showing up. But I keep on hearing when we're flustered, when we're truly flustered, we don't say, we don't, I keep on, when we're truly frustrated, we don't say, give me a break. We say, forgive me, is all I keep on hearing in this reading. When we are truly flustered, we do not say, give me a break. We say, forgive me, which is the space by which we say, we don't say, this is the condition, deal with it. And if you try to push up against the fluster, then that is like, you're not being kind or mindful. It's the energy that articulates and identifies and says, I recognize my fluster. I apologize that you have to experience it. I'm going to do everything I can in order to do something in a better way. Because I just keep on seeing that there's something about, and I keep on hearing, one, giving yourself a little, I keep wondering, giving yourself a little grace during a truly flustering period, which is to say, are you flustered or are you trying to do a lot of stuff right now? It feels to me what you're going through is an expansion point. You're going through an expansion point. You're doing something you've never done before. You're going to feel flustered. That is the song you hear when you're expanding. You feel very flustered. So, especially if it's new, I want you to, start to build the context. I want 5 minutes every day right now of intentional meditation. I want something to help you with the fluster, because I feel like there's a whirlwind of activity around you right now. I want you to spend 5 minutes in meditation every day. And I just want you to ask the universe and say, what is the priority? Ask the higher self, say, what is the priority today? Let that be the focal point in terms of how you plan your day. Let that be let that be the prioritization point as it relates to the observation and identification of what one is working to do better, right? And I keep on hearing, let everything else fall into place based upon that. But also, I keep on getting, take a moment to observe how you're navigating your fluster, because I keep on hearing you're healing from some experience in identifying the difference between give me a break and forgive me, which is, I keep on hearing, the fluster that one is working to remedy, right? The fluster that says, this is something that I don't want you to have to experience. I'm going to do everything I can to remediate it, versus the energy that says, give me a break, that says, the fluster that is used as a wall, like the wall of fluster that says, this is not changing. And if you ask me to do something, I'm going to get more flustered, is what I keep on hearing, right? Like the energy, I keep on hearing, like the energy that collapses under the weight of the fluster, that offers that, that creates that space that says, how can you ask me that at a time like this? But it's all the time, is what I keep on hearing. Thank you so much. Bottom of the deck. Yeah. Make sure that you're resting, is what I keep on seeing. Make sure that you're prioritizing rest. And I know I feel like I see you've got a lot of activity around you right now. When we are feeling stressed, we go slower, is what I keep on seeing. Don't let the stress make you overstress. Let it make you intentional. I keep on hearing, focus on holding an intentional frequency, which is to say, don't let yourself get anxious that things are sliding. Just be like, okay, I'm gonna get better at that. This is what I keep on hearing, every time you feel flustered, new rule. Let the fluster inform you, not floor you. Okay? Let it inform you, not floor you. Thank you so much for having that reading, Hannah. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list, The list is open. You will be the third person read for today. 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. And if anyone else wants to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the third person read for. We do here highest priority messages from spirit, past life messages, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship, love readings, dream interpretation, and guided messages. And thank you, Trinity, for the tiny dinies. All right, where are we? Happy Friday, Fig. Hold on a minute. Yes, I saw that, Fig. I'll definitely take a moment to read it once I'm off the live. And again, sending you so much support on that journey. She does. She's got fur and she's got fur and envy. I'm like, what are you doing, you little weirdo? She looks so cute right now. I moved her. I moved her cat bed to the windowsill because she likes to sun herself there. So she's like living her best life. No, I knew what you meant, Fig. Genuine, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. That was an eye opener, an aha moment. Yes. Every time it's getting real when Sin applies a lip gloss. Thank you, little vamp. Yes, my mind is a mess right now. Epiphany is the word I was looking for. Absolutely, Fig. Like me never being asked to bring food again to my ex's husband's family gathering wasn't intentional. Wow. But I sure as hell didn't mind. One time their criticism of criticalness was enough. Sending you support. Yes, I am feeling flustered. Yeah, you don't use fluster as a cop-out. Exactly. Happy Friday, Fig. I am on early channeling. Good to see you today. Very early. I know it's a busy day. Grand Rising. I've been on since 8. And Sloan, thank you for sharing the live. Guys, make sure to give channeling a follow. Great reader as well. I do. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff to do today. Journal, write it down, even if it's just single words all over a piece of paper. Look at it like a puzzle. I like that, Fig. This was so helpful. I will continue to be flustered if I don't try to remedy. Yep. When I'm stressed, I shut down or go even harder into productivity instead of balanced energy. I keep on hearing, like hold, like think about holding a note, right? Like, and which says to me, like, don't try to overwork it. Don't try to fall, like collapse under it. Just build into the space of trying to stay energetically consistent. Yep, going to start with 1 or 2 things. I think to myself, can I do this? If it's all I do, that's fine. Then I always end up doing more. Exactly. Like just like I keep on hearing those small things that lead to like massive change. Jess, when you say private reading, private readings vary depending on the amount of time you want the private reading for. All the rates are listed on my site. You're welcome, Christy. Oh my God, I have to post a picture of Pepper I took yesterday on the disc. Please do. Yeah, I think they did mean private. Oh, thank you, channeling. I appreciate you. All right, friends, we're going to continue right now. Next person on the list for today is Nikki. Nikki, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And if anybody else would like to get on the list for today, you'll be the second person read for. And also, friends, we are at 14.4K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Hannah, I like how my guides were like, oh no, you're not using this as a cop. I don't think they were talking. Here's the thing about it. I don't think they were talking to you. They were saying, pay attention to how you're addressing it. Because it feels to me like you're healing from someone that was saying like you were asking too much of them, is what I keep on seeing. All right, before we get started on Nikki's reading, we're going to do another intuition check. I've got an animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. When we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nikki, you broke your rule. It was the Earth Dragon. Thank you guys so much. We'll do that again after the next reading. All right, where are we? We got a reading for Nikki coming up. Check the pick first. Okay, I'll check the pick first. Hold on. I like you guys are giving me readings. You're giving me instructions of stuff I have to do before I give the reading. Hold on a minute. Oh my God, I'm so glad I checked. Oh my God, I am so glad I checked. Thank you for that. That made my day. Oh my God, the tummy. All right. It was worth it. It was worth it. All right, check it. And then questions on, oh, we're doing a dream reading. Is it outside tea? And just a reminder to anyone joining us, if you have information you would like to share for our reading, for instance, if you have a dream you would like interpreted or a past life you would like more information on, you can post it in the notes when you send the donation. You can also post it in our subscriber only Discord channel in the appropriate channels. So we're doing a dream interpretation now. I like Jess going moo for the animal spirit guide. Yep, the angle's amazing. Outside tea. All right, outside tea. What do we have coming through here? Okay. This one's pretty random. I had a dream about a whole pack of wolves, like a lot of them, roaming through a snowy city. They were all in this beautiful gray-white color, and I was following them around in awe. It actually looked super cool, though I remember thinking it was sad or strange that they had to be in the city. I kept getting close, then pausing and backing away, thinking, they're not going to hurt me, but I'm not going to push my luck just to get where I need to go. I was a little nervous they might attack, but they never did. There were other people around too, also kind of following the wolves. It felt almost like we were all trying to walk somewhere, but the wolves were in the way, like majestic traffic, honestly. And some of them were like coming up to us and getting close, almost like we were petting them. Then at one point I thought, we definitely can't let Pepper or any other cat outside. One of these things would eat her right up. It's giving kitten meat. But I wasn't near my house for most of the dream. I was just wandering through the snowy streets, weaving in and out of this wolf pack commute. Oh my God, is this my family? But I remembered it so well, it has to mean something. Okay, great. I love it. Can I get 4 cards, please? Yeah, okay. And you want one of the, okay, yeah, I know. Thank you. Oh, you got an extra card. Yeah. All right. Wow. It's a deep dream. Okay. And I gotta point this out because and this is what I like about working in the context of dreams and also working in the context of clients. So you'll recall that that we had a dream interpretation recently, both between you and your partner. And you've had a lot of dreams which have been the arrival of navigating these creatures. I want to point out, you kept on talking to me in the space of the dream of all of these creatures that kept on coming up in the dream. And in the space of those dreams, it was always in the context of feeling like you had to defend yourself from those creatures. I think that in yours, you were identifying them as like lizard people, and in theirs, they were identifying them as like monkey men. But we talked about the fact that in the space of the dream, it was the observation or recognition that that was your symbol for unhealthy thought forms, right? It's like working through the difficulty point of spaces or thoughts that don't necessarily feel like they are helpful to you, but rather something that you're working to protect or energetically heal from. And in the context, I even think you pointed out, like in the context of what we saw, and I love that dream that you brought forth to me, in the space that you talked about those zombie-like creatures as someone who could heal if they were given the right scarf, which is again something that protects one from them, right? The observation of not feeling like you need to push back against an unhealthy thought form. But this is what we do with shadow work. We just observe it's there. We don't like perseverate over it. We don't get focused upon it. It's something that we observe, and we don't like freak out on upon passing, right? And so this is a continuation on this. But what's beautiful about the context of the wolves is this is how you view guides, right? So you're talking about these, and I think that the word that you articulated, and I need to point out, you know, in the context of the interaction point with those other experiences that you articulated, the unhealthy thought patterns, you literally said the more you fight them, the stronger they get. But then you figured out a way to kind of wrap them in something that actually allowed them to kind of become human again, right? The ability to conversate upon the parts of the self that are difficult. And when we embrace the parts of the self that are difficult, we don't like it, we're able to kind of exist within the context of it. Now, what's beautiful about the work with the wolves that we see is I feel like this is the identification point of how you view guides, right? You describe them as being something ferocious. You kept a respectful distance, right? You honored the fact that they required proximity. But at the same time, what were you doing? You said that you were following them. And that's how we can tell that this is your interpretation of guides, because what do guides do? They don't tell us where to go. They lead the energetic way. So, and I think that in a way, this is like almost the amplification of what you're working on within yourself, like the identification point of the higher self that you're striving for, which is like, I love the fact that you talked about the space that you said that you and others were following those wolves, and you called it majestic traffic, which is to say that, like, again, you were respectful, like you were respectful of their energetic autonomy, right? You gave them a healthy distance. But you didn't do so more in the space that, like, they were an energetic threat, because you recognize the fact that they realized, like, they knew that you were there. They were allowing you the context. Again, you can't follow a predator. Like, there's no context by which you could follow a predator. But this is why we see that these are guides, because it's the conscientious point of them having done the work. What did they do? They healed their own ferocity, right? They healed their own ferocity. And when we heal our own ferocity, we're able to guide others in terms of how to do so. So this is talking a lot about your health, your spiritual journey right now, what it feels like to follow your guides, which is you don't assume to be one of them, right? You don't assume to be one of them. You're like, I am not. Like, I'm not. Like, you're like, you're not. You're not like, I am not a wolf. You're like, I am not a wolf. You're like, you're not. You're not of them, but you respect them and you fear them a little bit. You're a little bit afraid of them, a little bit afraid of them, a little bit of healthy fear, like a healthy fear, because you understand the majesty. You understand that the space that you find them in is one that is amplified by the choice to do so, not the intentionality, right? The weakness, right? Don't confuse weakness. Don't confuse vulnerability for weakness, right? Don't confuse vulnerability for weakness. The vulnerability we find in another, the wolf that leads, that is the greatest strength, because you know that it isn't the form that you are recognizing them in. You know it is one that they're choosing to energetically embody. And I feel like, again, wow, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I drew the extra card here for the guides, and we had the 9 of coins, right? The energetic space of a guide. What does a good guide do? They lead by example. right? And that's what's beautiful, because in the space, I love the fact that even in the space of the dream, you did not articulate where the guides were taking you. You didn't articulate upon the direction. You weren't trying to get somewhere, but you felt energetically lost. And so you're like, I'm going to follow these guys because they clearly know what they're doing. And what's interesting about it is like, I think it's interesting that you also talked about the context of being afraid to let your cat out, right? And what do we talk about? Like we've talked a little bit about the fact that often in the space of dream, like the cat, like the cat is our unconscious, right? The cat is our like the identification point of our wild identity, right? So it's that sense of being protective, which is almost saying, like in the context that you spoke toward the guides and saying, I got to be careful not to let my cat out, because it's like those modalities, right? Like those spaces where we get energetically playful, or we push or prod or something too much. And then, and like you said, like the fear of the guide that gobbles it up, which is the space of identifying that this is where you feel like you are right now on your spiritual journey, right? You're learning, you're working towards something, you're moving towards something in such a way that you see the direction by which you want to aspire and desire, but you're also trying to learn how to effectively or energetically control your cat, which is the space, the part of you, I keep wondering, like the part of you that often feels like it slips out, right? Like the part of you that feels like it regresses back into something, right? A little bit of that, like that energy. But this is also, and this is what's beautiful about the guided path reading, that is what the wolves were doing. The wolves effectively have learned how to control their cat. They've learned to navigate their wildness in such a way that their wildness is energetically intentional. Their wildness does not guide them. They are acting as the guide. And so this is the differentiation point when you said, I am not of them, I am energetically following them, because it's a space by which you are learning to control your cat. Bottom of the deck on this reading. Yeah, like look, the Empress in that reversal is almost the observation of you saying to yourself, I am not there yet, but I energetically aspire to be, right? Like it's the journey of understanding. But I need to point out there's something beautiful about that, because again, you'll have to remember, in the context of guides, there is no trying. In the context of guides, there is no trying. Trying is a qualifier to something that we are energetically doing. So I almost feel like it's that inclusive space of you saying, I'm not energetically ready. And the guides are saying, you're always ready. You are already on that intention, because you're working towards the context of this is what you're doing right now. You're learning to control those unhealthy thought forms. You're learning to control those parts of the self that feel like they sometimes get the better of you. So the guides are almost saying, in the context of the dream, give yourself credit. Like they're like, give yourself a little bit of credit, because that amplification, how you feel, the concern is the honor, right? The concern is the honor. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Nikki. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. You can book anything on my site. We do here life path, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship, love readings, dream interpretation, and guide messages. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading, but if you want to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for. All right. Grand Rising, Maria. One moment. Shout out to majestic traffic wording. That's awesome. Hi there, Grace. I hope you're having a beautiful day. All right, where are we? What is this pic? I promise she's not. I mean, it's the angle, man. It's that angle, man. She looks like a little Buddha. It's on Fig, it's on the Discord in the pet section. It was, yeah, the angle. Yes. She's so cute. Yeah, she is. That's not random. Grand Rising Grace. Yeah, I know. Yep. Yep. Yeah, they had, yep. Grand Rising Maria. This is true. I have a terrible memory. My memory only comes back when I'm reading. It's just like we look for validation. My memory is trash. But when I read, it's like, thank you. Oh, good to see you. And guys, make sure you give Adina a follow. Had an absolutely beautiful reading conversation with her earlier this year. You can find it both on her site and over on my Substack. Hope you're doing well today. Oh, thank you, Adina. I appreciate that. I was sort of like, why am I following you? But I'm not worried about it, right? You were following them because you're like, they look like they were going somewhere with intention. Yeah, they were nice wolves, exactly. It's kind of crazy because yesterday I felt like my grandpa was energetically present somehow. Well, and again, like I feel like this is the context of you seeing the guides, like you seeing the guides in the in the perception of like the animal symbolism of like what the animal meaning is to you as to how you perceive your guides, right? The good, like the good wolves, if you will. Yeah, I wasn't worried about where I was going really. Yep. Interesting. No, absolutely. Like the context, you're asking if you think the guides are proud of you. I feel like you wouldn't have a dream like that if the guides weren't trying to like say to you how proud they are of you. Because even in the space that you said, I'm learning. You said it. I'm learning to control my cat. It's like I see you being like you're learning to control your cat. The guides are saying like you're working to become like us. Yep, we're working towards equilibrium. This makes a lot of sense. And Maria, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. You're welcome, dear. In front of me, exactly. Oh my gosh, Grace, you are a powerhouse, man. Absolute powerhouse. Go for it. All right, let's continue right now. Next person on the list is Brigetta. Brigetta, if you're here, can you let me know if you would like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And if anyone else would like to get on the list for today, you will be the second person read for. All right, and I'm going to take a moment and thank you again so much, Nikki, for sharing that dream with us. As we wait for Bridget's question, let's do another intuition check. If you guys want to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for. All right, I've got the animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. When we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was the board. Thank you guys so much for participating. Dragons, you got close. You said bear. Rhythm. Rhythm is telling me over on the place where we keep the photos that my audio is muted. If someone is listening over on the place where we keep the photos, can you confirm if you can hear me or not? I would just like to know. Thank you for letting me know, Rhythm. You said Sal. You got very close, Nikki. I missed that part. There it is. Yes, Nikki, you got it. Well done. Look at that. Always the person I'm reading for. That's wild. All right. Okay, I am looking right now. Me, messages up further. I got you, Bridget. I was actually asked to speak at a career group. This is amazing, Grace. Oh, that's wonderful. I know. I like that determination. Looks good on you. All right, Bridget. Last night was very difficult for me. What message does my shadow have for me from this experience? And how can I honor the shadow without letting it consume me? I got you, dear. Heavy question. Oh, and again, sorry, I keep forgetting. Guys, make sure we give Bridget a follow. We always want to make sure that we're supporting each other in the across the channels. Make sure that you give Nikki a follow too. All right. All right. Can I please get 3 cards for Bridget? And one more, please. I feel like you're doing a lot of, I feel like this Capricorn full moon hit you right in the Chiron, is what I'm getting. I feel like there's something about this Capricorn full moon hitting you right in the Chiron. I feel like too, I think that, I gotta tell you right now, um, there's something I'm seeing in relationality to, um, I keep on hearing having a full context on how another person feels. I keep on hearing having full context on how another person feels does not make things okay. It can sometimes make things harder. And I need to point out, if you're going through some kind of situation or experience wherein you're looking back upon something and it feels like it's worse instead of better, I want you to understand that that is the song of you moving in the right direction, right? Because, and I know it stinks, it's awful, right? Because that's usually like but that I want you to understand, like, that is exactly, like, if your perception on looking back upon something makes it look even worse than it was at the time that you experienced it, the guides are, they're like, that's because you are in a sacrosanct position, which is to say, you have moved into a space where you are honoring yourself, and honoring yourself is helping you see things in ways that you could not see them before. And often, and I need to point this out, often that perception is one that makes things look worse. But that doesn't have to change you, right? Don't let it change you. And I feel like this, like, the thing you have to say is, how could you, right? How could you? Because it's the observation of understanding. And I need to point this out. If you're looking at something that is difficult, and you're looking at something that is energetically painful, and particularly and especially in the realm of navigating another person's bad choices, don't let another person's bad choices shape your decisions, right? Don't let another person's bad choices shape your ability to trust. Don't let another person's bad choices shape your ability to love, right? Because everything I keep on seeing around something has to do with understanding and applying one's own force of intention. And the reason that we often feel a lot of that energetic heaviness, and this is what I meant about something about this full moon hitting you right in the Chiron, which is potentially a moment where you're saying, oh, I understand the context by which another person made an energetic choice. But sometimes the blessing is when we say it stops with me, right? That feeling of saying, like, not matching negative with negative, like not meeting someone, like not like, and I feel like that often, like sometimes when we're going through shadow work, it feels like those moments that it feels like the part of the self that says, like, face me, come to battle, get out here. And what do we say in that moment? No. No, right? And it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to have those moments because I keep on hearing understanding, like the context of surrender is, and this is understand, like this is what you have to understand. The context of surrender is not about giving up. It's about identifying and recognizing like what one chooses to do versus what one refuses to do. And I feel like there's something about that's requiring it. I feel like I keep on seeing like, especially in the context of the past, that pain point in seeing something and working through it and having the full scope and breadth of it, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel destabilizing. And I feel like there's something about this full moon that like I feel like it almost like helped you observe or recognize an unhealthy cycle. But I keep on hearing the beauty of being able to recognize an unhealthy cycle. Like the moment we move into Chiron is we say like I refuse to engage in an unhealthy cycle. Like I refuse to engage in unhealthy cycle. I refuse to participate in something that I can see is not going anywhere positive. And I know it can feel isolating, right? But I keep on seeing, remember, like every time we move away from something that is unhealthy, the universe hates a vacuum. The universe hates a vacuum. Every time we walk away from something that does not serve the self, we say to the universe, I am seeking something better. The universe hears us. They understand it. And so I want you to understand you're not, I know, I know it can feel isolating, but you are not alone in that journey. And I keep on hearing that isolation point is the walking, is like that is the sound of you um like walking through the energetic desert of the self to find what you are effectively looking for, right? It requires that point. I keep wondering, it requires those moments of feeling very energetically isolated. It requires that it sometimes brings forth those moments that we feel very much alone because us feeling alone is the song of us finding what is in alignment to us. So I want you to understand, I want you to keep on hearing alone but not directionless, right? Alone but not directionless. Alone but not directionless means I have not found what I'm looking for, but I know what I'm energetically seeking. Bottom of the deck on this reading, Page of Cups. I feel like when you're feeling alone, write down those manifestation goals. Write down, like if you're feeling energetically alone, I want you to write down what would feel better. I want you, when you're feeling alone, I want you to get that pen out. I want you to say, this is, this is what I would, this is what would be better, right? This is, and I want you to kind of do that work in terms of like writing down what the higher self is doing. What does it look like? What's the shape of that life? And when you write that down, I want you to observe the disparity between where you are now versus what you see there. And that's what I want you to work as in service of as it relates to a map. Let that map of the higher self, the identification point of what the higher self is doing, guide you in the direction of what you're hoping to change to move towards that more effectively. Thank you. Because I keep on hearing, and this is the guide message, you're not alone. I know it, I keep on hearing like the guides are by you, but I keep on seeing it's the ability. I feel like I keep on hearing you're learning. I keep on hearing you're learning to turn your aloneness into solitude. And so I keep on hearing solitude is a sacrament because solitude is a sacrament because it's the space by which we hold it sacredly. When we hold our loneliness sacredly, it becomes solitude because it's the space by which we observe the fact that we would like to have that energy around us, but we feel that comfortability point within. right? It's like it's like helping. I keep on hearing it's like you're refining your compass in relationality to what feels like it's right for you. So I want you to be, and I want you to hold yourself gently in that way. And if it ever, and I feel like again, if it ever feels like it's too much, make sure that you're reaching out to someone. Make sure that you're communicating upon it, right? Because often in the moment that we articulate our own like sometimes the moment that we say to another person, like, I feel very isolated in this thought. Sometimes in the moment that we communicate the thought, another person is was very all too eager to say, I am right there with you. And I want to kind of stress that right now because especially with all of this energy that's moving into retrograde, like that ability of like working through it, like I keep on seeing like that is the energy that says like it's hold steady, but it's hold steady in relationality to identifying and recognizing like what it is that we are trying to achieve and how it is we're trying to communicate on getting there. And I keep on hearing you're not like you're not alone on that. Um, but it does, I feel like it does feel to me like you're understanding that there's something about the energy around you that's like, I keep on seeing, it's like, I almost see you kind of in that space of like identifying, like, I see you kind of like moving towards new relationships right now. Not just, I keep on hearing, not just in the space of, not just in the space of, like romantic, but I'm also seeing it in the space of friendship. Like it's giving me a little bit of that like seek and you shall find, but that's what I meant in terms of like allowing oneself to like have new experiences or make new energetic connections. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Bridget. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a few moments to read over some of the comments that came through. Also, friends, we are at 19.8K likes. If you, when we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. Also, the list is open right now. If you would like to be the next person read for, you will be the next person on the list. It's a great time to get on the list. The list is nice and short. And I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. All right. It was scary, rough. Oh, sending you so much support, Bridget. I haven't felt like that since I was a teenager. I tried to mention the fact that some of this Capricorn full moon, especially with Neptune in retrograde, a lot of the past coming back up to the surface. Yes, the truth. Thank you, little vamp. Yeah, we're going through the same thing. Exactly. Right. Hi there, Julia. How are you doing? I know you're not. I know. It feels isolating. You're not alone. And you've even got. I need to point this out. You've got communication in the chat of those who are also experiencing it. I think we are walking similar paths. It's collective for a reason. All I'm seeing are. I mean, listen. I need to point out if you feel like you're seeing mirages, it's because you're seeing more clearly. Right? You're in the space where you're able to identify and recognize what feels like it's an alignment to you. Yep. And thank you, Cody, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. It's crazy because I love being alone. No, I see it. But I feel like I actually feel like, and this is what I need to point out. Like I feel like this is you kind of moving towards counterpart, right? Like I feel like you're coming out of some kind of hermit energy. And like some of the like coming out of hermit energy is almost like you saying like I need to like push myself a bit, right? Like it's like coming into that space of like pushing out of your comfort zone. I feel like you did I feel like half the work was you finding the peace within the solitude of the self, And now the other half is like working through that space and being able to find someone to share that peace with, is what I keep on hearing. And somebody who prioritizes peace in the same way that you do. Stace, thank you for the follow. I don't, it's again, and I need to point this out. If it's when you say too much, I want you to identify if you say like the too much in what way? Because if you're saying it's too much, like that is what needs to be worked upon, right? Like that's what I meant about this full moon kind of helping us focus on our vulnerability, like the observation of where something feels too much, like that's the space that the work needs to go into, right? That is where the vulnerability lives. Recalibration, exactly. And definitely hold yourself gently. That just happened. Thank you as well, Cody. Hi there. Yes. Thank you guys for supporting each other in the comment. I know it comes in waves because I've been here before, but this was much harder than other times. I know it's more intense right now. I totally understand. Like it's navigating, like I was like navigating that intensity like this, like there was a lot of intensity this time is what I keep on seeing. But like I need to point out like the intensity, right? I want you to understand, think about the intensity as the force of intention, right? The recognition and observation of being able to feel like secure within the self. You're so welcome, Bridget. I do my best, Cody. Thank you. Having dreams of guys I dated in my teens. Yeah, I told you, like it's all like, here's the thing. All of these planets going retrograde in Aries, it's gonna, like, we've already got Neptune in retrograde, Saturn's about to go retrograde, and Chiron's about to go retrograde. So it's going to be a lot of communication upon the past. It's like coming out of a cocoon. Well said. Too much alone time. I know what you mean, dear. Hi there, Annie. Hi there, Grace. I've had that happen. Irony one had a last name of a company. Oh, that's wild, Grace. That's wild. All right, friends. We are going to get, if anyone wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the next person read for. In the meantime, we're going to start one card readings for subscribers. If you are a subscriber and would like a card pulled, go ahead and put your question in the comments. If you would like to become a subscriber, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button and you'll be eligible for a card. I got you, Grace. One card, highest priority message for Grace, please. I feel like this is like, like this is saying to me, like I feel like this is like you're just like, you're on a battlefield right now. You know what I mean? Like this is like batting. This is giving me like a batting range, right? And that's what I keep on seeing. Like I just see you kind of like, and again, and again, and again, and again. You know what I mean? Like there's just like there's this energetic approach I see you doing, which is just you like doing something over and over and over again, every time getting a bit better at it is what I keep on hearing. I keep on hearing, this is the sound of refinement. Yeah, the sun card, right? Like not dwelling on things, but getting the hang of something, which says to me, like, it's like you being able to learn how to do something with your eyes closed. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's like, I feel like you're like Jediing a situation in some way. You're like, all right. Can I please get like highest priority message, animal spirit guide? Yeah, there's the cat energy. Like I feel like I keep on seeing like there's a lot of that energy I see that you're bringing to something as it relates to like it's like I see you like not getting too focused on something, but just like moving through it in a way that it becomes second nature. Dragons, 2 cards, please. Highest priority. One moment. And thank you again, dragons, for all of the... Ooh, really? Hold on. 1 second, please. I gotta go get those. Where'd they go? Yeah, I see them. There was another one. Where'd you go? Oh, wait. Wait, I want that card. Oh my goodness. What is up with this? Talk about vulnerability. What is going on here? Who's this? I feel like there's something I'm observing here in relationality to, I keep on hearing our vulnerability brings out vulnerability in others, is what I keep on seeing. I'm getting some kind of like, I never knew you felt that way kind of energy. But that's why I keep on seeing that like there's something about um how do I describe this? I feel like there's something significant in relationality to you having some kind of like renewed sense of empathy for another person's struggle. And I think it's interesting because it's like, I feel like it's the observation of empathy, but it does, I keep wondering, it doesn't necessarily change one's own position, you know? Like it's, I'm gonna get, bottom of the deck. Wow, this is interesting. Like Ace of Swords in its reversal. Um, I keep on hearing healthy relationship empowers us, is what I keep on hearing. I keep on hearing healthy relationship celebrates our empowerment, is what I keep on getting. Um, Animal spirit guide, please. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, again, I see some kind of situation of you looking at the past in a different way. And I just keep on hearing something about healthy relationship empowers us. Um, I keep on hearing it doesn't make us question ourselves, is what I keep on seeing, specifically as it relates to like your intuition or being able to trust yourself, is what I keep on seeing. You know, there's something really important there. Thank you so much, dragons. But I keep on hearing honor your emotions, but also recognize what feels like the difference between a healthy and an unhealthy conversation, which is like the emotions that one feels, but like the observation of whether they can change something. You're welcome, Cody. Lara, I got you, dear. One card on love, please. Um, Remember, a fixed need is a standard. Make sure you're doing work in the space of love, of being able to articulate upon your fixed needs. And I keep on hearing it's not needy to have standards. So long as that's a fixed point of need, that's a standard. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, your standards are not negotiable, right? The ability of understanding. If you're articulating your standards to another person, and they're like, I keep on hearing like it's not like it's the energy that doesn't push against them, that appreciates that they're there. Healthy communication is the ability to articulate upon our standards. um Animal spirit guide, please, for Lara. Yeah, especially with the adder. Like, never are we in more danger than when we say, let's just see where something goes, right? We all have a desired manifestation goal. So make sure you're not entering a relationship with someone saying, like, I just want to see where this goes. Be like, if someone says I want to see where this goes, be like, I don't like, this is where we can leave it. Because I keep on seeing like either you have the unified manifestation from the start or not at all. Right? The observation of being able to articulate what it is that you're looking for. One card for Ella on moving forward, please. Highest priority messages from Spirit. I got the Hierophant. Like, focus on setting those intentions. I keep on hearing, don't get lost in some kind of fantasy world between what another person says that they desire versus them putting that force intention of doing it, is what I keep on hearing. I feel like there's something about the work that you're doing right now, which is like a fantasy free zone, which is like, again, a fantasy free zone is none of this like woulda, coulda, shoulda. you know? Like, I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like there's some kind of energy around you being like, you know, like the nostalgia and being like, I miss something. But often, I keep on hearing in the space of someone saying, like, this is not what I expected, being like, well, what were you doing to change it? You know? Animal spirit guide. Yeah, especially with the hawk, right? Like, I keep on seeing, like, I keep on hearing, like, it's not like, like the force of intention is what guides us forward. And sometimes we get clarity between someone who likes to like sentimentalize on an idea as opposed to moving towards it. Like, make sure, I keep wondering, like, make sure you're not around someone who sentimentalizes their pain, is what I get. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when someone sentimentalizes their pain, they like to talk about the limitation. They like to hold the limitation in a way that they're like, that they articulate the shame of having it instead of doing the work to try to change something, is what I keep on hearing. Highest priority for little vamp, please. Yeah, 3 of wands, and it's upright. Healthy communication, working into the space of being able to communicate effectively. If you're doing that work, like another person, like you also deserve it back in point. I keep on hearing, yeah, it's not selfish if it's reciprocal. If you're asking for something that you would eagerly give another person, it's not selfish, it's reciprocal. So just identify whether someone is meeting your reciprocal point as it relates to communication. Animal spirit guide card, the hare, right? Identifying and recognizing, like I keep on hearing, like there's something about you um, being very matter of fact, is what I keep on seeing. Like your matter of factness is a gift to some. I keep on hearing your matter of factness will be refreshing to someone that desires and knows what it is that they want. But I keep on seeing it'll be startling to someone that is not necessarily in the same space as you, is what I keep on hearing. So I keep on hearing, hold your matter of factness as a gift and let the observation of how others receive it let you, like, notify you as to whether you're in alignment with them or not. One card for Fig from the guides. Advice or message, please. The star energy, which is saying, appreciate what you're doing. It's not easy, but I keep on seeing like you're doing the work to help someone understand their own energetic capacity. And I think that that's important because I see that it's a space that you're saying, like, I can't do it for you, but I'll give you all the tools you need, right? Like, that is, I keep on hearing, that is how we help someone, like, find, like, learn to trust themselves, right? It's not the space that we say, like, I'll do it for you. It's a space that says, you can do it, and I'll be here every step of the way, right? Bottom of the deck, yeah, especially in relationality to helping another person through their own anxieties and doubts and fears, right? The ability of helping another person know that it's okay to worry about things, but in the space that we're able to kind of conquer our worry. Like, that is, I keep on hearing, that is the difference in terms of saying to another person, it's energetically okay. You're not alone in this. Everything is fine, right? Like, it's like I keep on hearing the word, like, the normalcy, you know? Animal spirit guide, yeah, especially with the eagle, right? I keep on seeing it's like you being protectiveness and being able to protect another person's sense of normalcy, right? Like the amplification point of, like, I keep on hearing, like, that space that identifies and says, like, I'm here to protect your normalcy. Like, I'm here to protect the fact that something isn't changing. So I feel like it's like I want you to kind of think about like that space, because I feel like you're giving someone the confidence as it relates to their choices. One card on counterpart, please, for Bridget. They're right there with you. This was a hard full moon for them as well. is what I keep on seeing. You know, like that's the thing about it. Like I kept on, I think I told you it was like a deep well moon. It's like a deep well moon, which is like the past that kinds of feels like it comes back up, but in order to understand how far we've come. So I feel like even in that, I keep on hearing, yeah, bottom of the deck. If it disappoints but does not devastate, recognize how far you've come, is what I keep on seeing. Because there's something I'm observing there, which is just saying to me that, like, I see you moving away from something, and if the further you get, the more it hurts. Recognize and identify that that usually is indication that you're moving in the right direction. Animal spirit guide, please, for Bridget. Yeah, especially with the hind, which is like, I feel like this is where you find yourself right now in your path, which is the space that says, am I the only one? Really, am I the only one? But I keep on seeing that, like, that space of being able to embrace yourself in that way, they're going through that too, right? Like it's that modality or that moment of feeling very energetically isolated, like that feeling of being kind of like a stranger in their own experience. But that's what I meant in relationality to, I see you kind of pushing out of your comfort zone in doing new things that leads you, like I keep on hearing, like leads you to find someone that you haven't met before or do something that you haven't done before. You know, it's like I keep on hearing, like the journey of finding counterpart for you is embracing your uniqueness, or that sense of I keep on hearing, like the blissful curiosity that allows one to try something new, but something that feels like it's energetically supportive to you. I am competitive. I like that, Grace. I see it. Like I see you kind of like there's a little bit of this like batter up energy around you. Thank you so much, Bridget. Spirit led, please. But I feel like I see you competing against yourself. That's the funny part about it. Like I see you like battering up, but you're battering up like against yourself is what I keep on seeing. Like I keep on seeing it's like you like being like how like you know what I mean? It's like you against you in terms of like being like, how can I do something better? Spirit led for Bean, please. Yeah, 9 of Cups in its upright. I make sure that you're facing situations with a sense of gratitude. And I need to point this out. You know what's funny about gratitude? It's like usually you find gratitude not in the space of someone saying you should be grateful. I don't know why that's coming through. You ever notice that? That's the funny thing about gratitude, which is like we find gratitude in the moment we feel gratitude for things, but not in the space of someone saying you should be grateful. It's like the minute someone says you should be grateful, all gratitude goes like right out the window, you know, over the door. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially with the moon card, right? What is this? Like, make sure you're getting away. Like, any of this, like, you should be glad I give you anything, is what I keep, like, what? Like, what is that? Like, make sure you're, like, I feel like you're healing from like some kind of situation of like lowered expectations. I keep on hearing the beauty in being in healthy relationship is like in any context is that we're always working to raise the bar, is what I keep on hearing. It's that space of being like, you know, it's like it's that sense of like excitement that we feel in doing something and trying to like advance upon an achievement instead of the space of seeing like, you know, like I keep on hearing like no autopilot energy in relationality to like to doing things. I feel like it's almost like I see you going through like an argumentation point with someone in that way. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, especially with the swan, right? Like the spaces where we are at, where that we expand are places that we're celebrated, right? The ability to celebrate achievement encourages us to achieve more, is what I keep on hearing, right? It's like it's a lot of that work I'm seeing in relationality to identifying and recognizing that. So I keep wondering, make sure that you're holding yourself in that space of gratitude. All right. Nina, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. All right. All right. Nina, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. All right. Nina, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. All right. Nina, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. All right. Nina, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. All right. One moment, please. You're welcome, Grace. Okay. Nikki, one card on therapy. I got you, dear. Oop, it's stuck to the bottom of the table. So like a lot of the yeah, oof. There, I think that you said there's a lot of transference that's happening there. Somebody talking about how they feel within themselves, but projecting it onto you is what I keep on seeing. Like that's what's so difficult when someone says, "I see myself in you." You have to say, "I am my own person." Like if you care about me, it's not me doing the things that you desire to do. It's allowing the context by which you can be your own self. Animal spirit guide, right? Like it's the feeling like this is why we don't look into others to be the resolution of our dream, because when they find their own dream it can sometimes feel like we're disappointing them. So I keep on hearing, like, if someone is articulating upon their disappointment, you have to say to them, what were you expecting, right? In the context of them saying, well, I feel like that's the conversation. Keep on bringing it back to expectations, right? Not what they think is wrong, but saying, what were you expecting from me? What was your hope? Let's figure out what the problem is here, is what I keep on hearing. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, the horse, right? Like the love that comes through in another person being able to surprise us, right? Like it's like that anticipation point, the love that happens in seeing which way someone moves or what direction they go into, not in the space of saying like this is what I expect of you. Thank you as well, Cody. And you're so welcome, Grace. Lara, thank you for recharging your heart needs. Have a beautiful weekend, Grace. You're so welcome, dragons. Minnie, I got you, dear. Ooh, one card on what I'm working on. Gotta get more serious on it. Stop talking about it like it's a hobby, is what I keep on seeing. You know, like I feel like I see you kind of working through something. Like you have to overcome your own silliness in doing something, right? It's not silly if you take it serious. Bottom of the deck. Yeah. And don't allow yourself around others that make you feel silly talking about it, is what I keep on hearing. You know? Like I feel like I see you kind of like working in that space of doing something that you haven't done before. But I think it's interesting because it does feel like you kind of picking something back up in from the past in a way that you're able to articulate and amplify or bring new meaning to it, is what I keep on hearing. Animal spirit guide for Minnie. Yeah, especially with the fox, you know, like don't like I keep on hearing like I feel like I see you kind of going through some kind of like pathwork of transformation. And I keep on hearing um it's not silly, like it's like I feel like it's like you learning not to doubt yourself in that way. Like finding the finding the confidence, as it were, to trust your own perspective on something. Like I keep on hearing like this is like it almost feels like some kind of confidence exercise. All right. Yes. Oh, the dream space, what you were working on in the dream space. I hope that makes sense. I feel like it's the same thing I was seeing in the dream space. You know, it's like I keep on hearing like it's the finding of your confidence to be able to speak towards something. Yeah, I know who you're speaking of. Thank you so much. You're so welcome, Ella. Yeah, that's me. Thank you as well, Little Vamp. Tasha, these are one card readings for subscribers. So if you'd like to become a subscriber, I'm happy to pull a card for you. One card for Oracle Erica, please. One card for Oracle Erica. Be patient with yourself on the healing journey. And remember, the way you can define the difference between a cycle versus something that's healing is seeing progress. Make sure that you're charting your progress with another person, right? I keep on hearing constant check-ins. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, constant check-ins, right? Don't like don't say like, okay, let's like make a change and let's agree to make this change. Let's check back on this and see how we're doing, right? Like the way we are able to heal something is being able to identify and recognize what we're putting progress towards. Animal spirit guide, yeah, especially with the Ren, okay? Like consistency is key. It's like, I feel like you're working into a space of not letting something build up between you and another person. So having those moments of being able to identify and recognize what it is that you're working to release. Because I see that you and another person have very similar wounds. Chrissy, one card regarding connection, please. I keep on seeing somebody that like it feels like someone like self-sabotaging, but like it feels a lot like, you know, like it's like I see them like working too much in the context of feeling overcome or overwhelmed by their own fears is what I keep on seeing. Bottom of the deck, yeah, especially with the King of Cups and its reversal. You know, it's like it's not, I keep on hearing the like the anxiety and the fear never goes away. It only goes away when we start to communicate upon it, is what I keep on seeing. So, one moment, bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially with the stag, I keep on like that's the thing. Like this is that full moon energy, right? Like this full moon can do a real doozy in relationality to like working in the context of the past. But that's what I mean in relationality to like not creating a space where the past feels like it disempowers us, but allowing it to be that moment that we kind of absolve or set our resolve on what we're trying to do differently. So I feel like I see some kind of connection where someone struggles to do that because they're too hard on themselves in the process. You're so welcome, Bridget. You are a unicorn. Tap to claim. Tammy, I'm happy to read for you. If you'd like to get on the list, list is open. These are one card readings for subscribers. If you'd like to become a subscriber. Oh, isn't that beautiful, Nikki? Absolutely. You saw it too, isn't it? I know, I love that card. It's really beautiful, you know? But I need to point out like that energy on the card, like, right? It's like the energy that feels like it's working through the feeling of saying like, am I the only one, you know? But that's often what we hit in those moments of going through our spiritual journey. It's like working through the context of our isolation that becomes energetically sacred. Very true. You're welcome, Bean. All right. Hold on a moment. Erica, one card, highest priority message, please. We've got the Sun card in its reversal. So again, don't let yourself get frustrated if things don't go the way that you expect. I keep on hearing arrive to the day that you're having, because there's something about you kind of like working through a frustration, but allowing the context of being able to do something in a better way that I keep on seeing. It's like be the flashlight in a situation. Bottom of the deck, yeah, especially with the King of Wands and its reversal. Like be conscientious about conversations, right? Like I keep on hearing healthy conversation is solution focused, not problem oriented. It's not just about talking about what's wrong. It's like shifting the conversation on what one is working to do better. Um, Bottom of the deck, please. Hold on a moment. I mean, animal spirit guide. Yeah, the eagle, right? If someone, it's like I keep on hearing the past is a library. It's not an armory, right? We look back, we look to the past to observe things that we're working on doing better, not holding on to them to prevent the ability of being able to move forward. So make sure that make sure that you're not getting like sidelined as it relates to a conversation about someone trying to talk about why they feel right, like helping them. I keep on hearing like bring the conversation back to the topic, right? I keep on hearing like the gentle reorientation point and being able to say like, what do we need to do to find a solution to this? Focusing on what you were expecting. You're welcome, dear. Hi there, Luna. Animal spirit card. So Tammy, these are 1-card readings for subscribers. So if you'd like to become a subscriber, I'm happy to pull a card for you. Also, the list is open if you would like a full reading. It's 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, thanks to my Lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Beautiful message. My goals are not silly. Absolutely not, Minnie. And I feel like this is you taking taking your goals seriously and not feeling silly in the process of pursuing them. Oh, that's so cool, Fig. The card I got for you was the Star card, which says, and the bottom of the deck was the 9 of Swords, which is to say to someone you're helping, and the Animal Spirit Guide card was the Eagle, which is to say you're helping another person feel safe in their decisions by helping protect their the sense of normalcy, right? Like them just being able to find that stabilization point even through their own doubts and fears. So that says to me like you're working in the space of the eagle, because you're serving as an energetic protector to another person being in their authenticity. 1 card for Ava on how they're feeling. It's stuck to the bottom of the deck. I don't know if this person was like, it feels a little bit like I'm seeing some kind of situation or circumstance where someone has a hard time communicating, is what I keep on seeing. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, because I mean, especially if there was like an interruption point between you talking to another person about union or about like partnership, I keep on hearing it's like the healthy relationship is one that there's clear communication on what it is that we mean to each other, is what I keep on seeing. There's no question mark there. And so I almost see like, it almost feels like someone like that was putting you in some kind of confusing space because they refused to tell you, like, they refused to like articulate what it is that they wanted or what it is they're looking for. So I keep on seeing, like, I see someone who's heavily in contemplation in relationality to the situation or circumstance they put you in, is what I keep on seeing. Animal Spirit Guide card for Ava. Yeah, the Fire Dragon, right? I keep on hearing, we say what we mean what we say. We don't say things to get our way, which is to say, like, if this is someone that pulled away from you because you were asking questions, I feel like that's like the modality of another person saying, like, it, like the lesson that comes through that is not the space of not asking questions, but it almost feels like somebody who like realizes or recognizes that they lock themselves out of your life, because it's like I keep on hearing your standards are not conditional on another person, like on another person's presence. It's like I keep on seeing like you kind of finding them in that context. Constant checking in and recognition of progress. Absolutely, Erica, sending you support on that journey. Buck Moon, yes, I know, I thought the same thing, Cody. Julia, 1 card, general, please. Remember, the past is a library, not an armory. Don't get lost in it. Just let it inform you in terms of what you can identify to do better. Bottom of the deck, especially with the 7 of Cups in its upright. I feel like I see you doing like a lot of work in terms of recognizing and facilitating upon like what you're trying to do or how you're trying to change or fix something. So I keep on saying be very intentional in the space of what you're trying to communicate, is what I keep on hearing. You know, like don't be like, I keep on hearing like let it be something that empowers you, is what I keep on hearing. You're so welcome, Chrissy. Hi there, Anne. How are you doing today? Cody, batteries. Batteries running out, being a constant flashlight. Never. No such thing. You're so welcome, Erica. Make sure, I mean, again, if you feel like that, make sure you take time to recharge, you know? Lisa, can I get a card for the dream of my boyfriend 2 days ago? Ooh, where I was in danger. Yep, I got you, dear. Ooh, we got the tower. Um, this is saying to me, like this is saying to me, it has to do with a lot of the space of like working through your own fears. You know, I feel like you've been doing a lot of work in terms of like finding a sense of stability. And it's interesting because like I feel like the tower that I'm seeing here isn't, yeah, it's the tower and internal, right? Like I see kind of a situation where like I see you kind of like finding the ability of being appreciated. Like I feel like it's almost the ability of someone who holds you like in a high standard, like sees you in a way that you haven't seen yourself before. But I feel like a lot of that, these are some heavy cards. Like the tower is the anxiety of being able to like hold the form of another person's expectations. But I already see this here with the animal spirit guide. Yeah, they see you clearly. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing I keep on seeing. It's like I almost see somebody saying, I wish you could see yourself the way that I see you, which is the understanding. Like that is I feel like that sense of frustration is you working through the anxiety point of embracing another person's perception of you, right? It's like building into that context. Going over it again, thank you. We went to a party together. Oh, I wouldn't listen to him. Wow, that's really interesting. But that's what I mean in relationality to like someone else holding standards that you yourself don't hold, like them holding the higher standard, as I mentioned. Yep. Grand Rising, Heather. One card on love for Heather, please. Yeah, the Queen of Swords. I keep on hearing your standards are not too much for the right counterpart. Don't like heal, you're healing from your fear of rejection. Like when we have standards and we experience rejection, we say, oh, yay, right? Because it's not the space that we identify or worry that our standards are too much for another person. Yeah, again, it's the eight of wands, healthy relationship, like again, much like Lisa's dream. Healthy relationship raises our standards, it doesn't lower them. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, the salmon, like keep on doing that work right now. Because I see like again, you kind of like I feel like you healing from rejection. It's like I keep on hearing the sound of you moving towards love is a lot of no, because it's you kind of working through the no that you're not saying, oh wait, no, I'll just lower those standards, being like, good day. Like you just kind of moving away from something and honoring your standards if they bring out of no in someone, being like, that's clearly not someone for me. Thank you, Enchantress. Your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. You're so welcome, Julia. Working on receiving. Continue to do that work, Jess. You're so welcome, Bridget. You have a great weekend. All right, final call right now for any of my subscribers who would like a card pulled, or if anyone would like a full reading before I sign off for the day. Just a reminder of a few things. I am going to be off tomorrow and the following day. I will be coming back on Monday. I got you, Hannah. One moment, please. One card, please, for Hannah. Highest priority messages from Spirit. We've got the Magician. Continue to do that work right now. I see you pouring a lot of energy into yourself, but I also see you like channeling your creativity in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Continue to do it. It feels like I keep on seeing like I see you like creating something for yourself right now, or doing something in a way. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, especially, wow, with the star energy. It's giving me a lot of that, like, seek what you and you shall find, like becoming the energetic force that you're looking for. But like I keep on seeing, it's like you kind of coming to that space of honoring the self in the process. Animal spirit guide. Yeah, the swan. I see you potentially doing something that you haven't done before. Like this feels a little bit like some kind of energy here of you like it's like trying something, like sticking, like putting your foot in the water. is what I keep on seeing, you know? Like I keep on seeing like you know, I keep on hearing the first time you do something is always the hardest time. So like I feel like it's like giving yourself that confidence to try something new. All right. And Stella, thank you for getting on the list. Can you let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer? And if anybody else would like to get on the list right now, you will be the second person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. And Lisa, thank you for getting on the list. If anybody else wants to get on the list right now, you will be the third person read for. Yes, Stella, it's your turn, dear. Also, friends, we are at 28.6K likes. When we get to 50K, I will be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. All right. I like that. Power is subtle, power is unique. Tap to claim. And just a reminder to those who are joining us across the other apps, if you would like to get on the list for today, you will be the third person read for. You can do so via my tree that is Binksnet in my bio. Thank you for letting me know where the message is. One moment. All right. I got it here. All right, but hold on a minute. I got you, Stella. Okay. One moment, just reading over your question, dear. All right, and so we're gonna do these readings. I need to step away for a moment before we continue. So I'm going to step away and we'll get back. But if anyone else wants to get on the list right now, the list is open. You'll be the third person read for. I will be back in just a moment and we'll continue. All right. Where were we? All right, we're doing a reading right now for Stella. And just a reminder, if anyone else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the third person read for. All right. Did rumor, hold on a minute. She told I was, oh my goodness, dear. All right, let me just post this here. Okay, I'm gonna pin Stella here. Guys, make sure that you give Yell a follow. We like to support each other across the apps here. All right, can I please get 3 cards for Stella in relationality to the energy between you and this individual? No, I definitely see that it had some kind of negative impact on a person. You know, I keep on hearing it's the observation of the space of saying to another person, why would you say that? Is what I keep on seeing. You know, like it's giving me, and I need to point this out. It's not even the space. I keep on saying it's not even in the space of something being energetically negative. But that's what I mean about it. Like I keep on saying it's a context by which somebody articulated something to another, but they articulated it to another in like I feel like I see somebody who observed the fact that someone was trying to communicate something in order to, like I keep on hearing like the context of a conversation that one says something in order to like smear another person's like space. And what's interesting about it is like I almost see somebody like having a conversation with another person and saying that's their business. You know, like that's the funny thing about it. Like I almost see somebody like going through a situation of someone like trying to say something in a negative way, and another person like I almost feel like somebody giving them a lecture in relationality to like their own opinions on something. Like that's what's interesting about it. Like I feel like the embarrassment point came in the space of like someone, like I keep on hearing it blew back on someone because even in the like I keep on hearing even in the context by which like I see something, like I can hear, like I can almost hear the conversation saying, "What are you hoping to achieve?" Is what I keep on hearing. Like, and that's what I mean in relationality to talking about other people. I see somebody saying, "What are you hoping to achieve?" Which is like, why are you talking about that person in this way? Because I keep on pointing out, and like one of the things I'm seeing is like it feels to me like the person they were having a conversation with like had a good head on their shoulders. Like it says to me, it's like somebody who like basically like it's interesting because I feel like there was a conversation that occurred, like somebody bringing like tea to someone, like someone bringing tea and like trying to serve some kind of tea to another person, and instead they got a conversation on privacy, which is to say, like I keep on here, like I almost hear somebody going through the meme which says like I see someone being like, if I am minding my business and you are minding my business, who is minding your business? You know what I mean? Like a little bit of that observation in terms of another person being told how they appear in the space that they're so eager to talk about another person in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So that's why I keep on seeing, like when I see the space of like something coming back to another person, like I see a situation where someone was trying to cause energetic harm and instead they walked away in a state of embarrassment, which is the embarrassment that almost says like, it's like I keep on seeing the space of saying like, what is the context by which you're bringing something forward? Are you trying to do something to help someone, or are you trying to do something to harm someone? Because I keep on seeing like I almost see somebody saying in the context that you feel like I keep on hearing somebody almost reorienting conversation to saying, are they in energetic danger? Because when you care about someone and you say something about another person, you say it from a place of love. You say it from a place of concern. You say, are they in energetic danger? And I almost feel like somebody said, or are you trying to energetically hurt someone? And so I see somebody who feels like I almost see a situation where someone brought something forward and someone called them out on their intention, which is to say, like, they didn't really necessarily care what they were saying to them, but they almost like reprimanded them in relationality to the intention by which they brought it forth to them. I want to give you some bottom of the deck information, something to keep in mind going forward. Yeah, I keep on hearing somebody say words like words hurt. And I keep on seeing the intention by which, and I see somebody being like I keep on hearing somebody say, like, the intention by which we bring something to another is often the context. I keep on hearing the context by which we're trying to protect someone, or the context by which we're trying to energetically harm someone. So I see some kind of circumstance or situation where someone effectively called them out and said, I don't feel like the information you're giving me, if you were coming towards you, if you were bringing it towards me in a space of concern, the way that I keep on hearing, the way that you brought it forth is something that it doesn't feel so much like you're concerned. It feels more like something that you're trying to energetically, like, I keep on hearing, like, that's what I mean in terms of someone saying it seems like you're trying to smear them, because the smearing is trying to talk about someone, not in the space of saying, like, I hope to help them, but almost like the ability of trying to mar another person's perception in their eyes. So I keep on seeing someone say, like, I feel like I keep on hearing someone say, are they in danger? Like, effectively saying, is what you brought forth something that you are articulating because they need help with? Or is it something that you're bringing forward with because you yourself are trying to harm their reputation in some way, shape, form, or fashion? So it says to me, like, I feel like it's like, it almost feels like someone trying to give something to someone and another person handing it back to them, being like a little bit of that, like, look at yourself moment in relationality to them saying, I see, like, I almost see someone saying, like, I see what you're trying to do because of the context by which you are bringing it forth, right? Like the lack of care for the person that is built upon the space that you are trying to show something instead of revealing your concern or care about them. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Stella. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, being semi-lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. Also, friends, we are at 30K likes. When we get to 50K, I'll be gifting a reading back to the collective, so make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. Sending you support on that journey, Al. Hi there, Jess. Oh, sending you so much support, dear. And I hope you're doing better. Okay, where are we? Hi there, TJ. Thank you for the compliment. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's good to see that there were those that were helping you heal from that circumstance or situation. Sending you so much support, dear. All right, let's continue right now. The next person on the list for today is Lisa. Lisa, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And also, if anyone wants to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You will be the second person read for. 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, being semi-lio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps, pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. How are you doing today, Lisa? Hope you're having an absolutely beautiful day. All right. And as we wait for Lisa's question to come through, let's do another intuition check. I've got an animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. When we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, I got it, dear. 9, 8. Let me know if it's inside T or outside T. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was the wolf. Thank you guys so much for participating. We'll do that after the next reading. And if anyone wants to get on the list right now, it's a great time to get on the list. You'll be the second person read for. List is nice and short right now. We do life path readings here, highest priority messages from spirit, past life, angelic guidance, pet readings, animal spirit guide readings, mediumship, love readings, dream interpretation, and guided messages. All right. And we are doing a reading right now for Lisa. Okay, what do we got? Recently, I saw how my boyfriend's family truly treats him. I've seen it before, but it was extreme this time. And I want to open a conversation around emotional abuse and control. They're not a healthy dynamic, especially the maternal. How can I talk to him about this? And what is my role? Can I please get 4 cards for Lisa? I feel like the important thing I'm seeing around a relationship, situation, or circumstance is making sure that you're not getting overly prescriptive, which is to say, like the observation by which you make sure that you don't, I keep on saying the observation that you're able to like not necessarily like discount something outright. And I keep on hearing the way we're able to help another person heal is by asking questions, which is I keep on hearing like not the space by kind of giving like a point blank diagnosis in relationality to something that we are articulating and identifying is difficult. But asking questions as it relates to what you saw that impacted them is what I keep on seeing, right? The level or degree of care by which you're able to build a better understanding of the person that you deeply care about. Because I keep on seeing, like, I see it, there's a lot of ferocity there, you know? And I'm sure, like, I keep on seeing, like, in the context of you being able to speak to another person, like, they know it too, you know? Like, I see somebody being like, I see someone being like, no kidding, right? But that's the thing I think that is important, which is like almost looking at someone and saying, you know, I understand things deeper now, which is the understanding of, you know, I see someone that works very, very tirelessly to make sure other people are energetically comfortable. And I need to point out that sometimes the space where another feels like they need to earn the right to be seen or heard or recognized, that at that energetic concern point we have that amplifies our level of care. What's difficult about it is sometimes we see, like sometimes we observe the trauma from which a beautiful quality in another person was sprung. And so I feel like that's kind of the way you have to navigate a situation, which is to basically say, like, and I feel like even in that context, um, you know, the space by which you're able to say and identify and say, like, I see, like, I notice things like in the dynamic of the energy that you were raised within that others might characteristically identify as difficult. You know, I feel like that is kind of the best way that you can articulate something. I think the thing you want to be very conscientious about is, like I keep on saying, making sure you're not diagnosing the situation. And diagnosing the situation is like I keep wondering, when we diagnose situations, we fail to recognize nuance, right? Like when we diagnose a situation, we fail to recognize the nuance. And I feel like I see somebody who's highly empathic. I see someone who understands the complexity of the struggle of others, and works to maintain some kind of point of balance. So I feel like your own ability to kind of say to them and ask them like how it was experiencing that, like how they feel that that experience shaped them. I keep on seeing that's going to allow the context of being able to, like, I keep on seeing like have a conversation, which is, I feel like, the conversation that you want to have with someone, which is to say, how do you observe it? You know what I mean? How do you observe it? Like, what is your perception on it? You know, because I feel like that space by which you are able to like amplify and articulate something, like something that you saw that from your perspective or from your perception did not necessarily feel energetically healthy, you know. And I keep on seeing this, like I keep on like, you know, there's the difference of, how do I describe this best? um I keep on seeing someone say like the difference between like harmful and complex is how we move through it, is all I keep on hearing. I'm reading, like, this is me reading into the counterpart. I'm not sure if they've got like Scorpio placements, because it feels really scorpionic in there. Which is somebody's like, I see someone being like harmful and complex depends on how one moves out of it, is what I keep on seeing, which is the space by which someone does not look at it as like, you know, it's like I see somebody like who, you know, facilitates or recognizes their own like point of, and that's what I mean about it. Like you kind of having to, and that's what I meant about you addressing it and being like, I feel like that must have been difficult, and them articulating their experience of it. You know, like I keep on seeing like, make sure that the conversation you're having is one that is very invested in understanding their perspective about it, as before I keep on hearing, before bringing forth the conclusions of it, right? Which is almost the space by saying like, how do you experience that? What is your opinion upon that? Because that, I keep on saying, like, that's the moment you can say, I saw things there that were energetically difficult to see, right? And you being able to talk about the difficulty in seeing something that was hard for you. That's what I mean about the ability of being able to facilitate a healthy conversation about it, rather than another person becoming very protective or defensive of it. Um, Bottom of the deck, yeah, especially like get behind, like remember, like what I say throughout this reading, be very, very confident, tread very carefully in relationality to making an energetic judgment call. So that's the space that says, like, I keep on seeing, like, you have to understand, I like to point this out, like, we talk about this here, right? The truth, like, the truth can be very painful. And often, if we observe something and we recognize that another person has not recognized that in relationality to a situation, we want to talk about the truth gently, right? Like thinking about guiding them towards that point to be able to help them derive or articulate upon their own conclusions. And so, what I'm effectively seeing around a circumstance or situation, and that's what I mean in terms of like making sure that you're not just saying something that may come into the space of observing something and just saying it in a way that another person gets very defensive about it because they don't see it that way. It's like almost the space of you trying to divine, like think about it like you're trying to delve into how much of a truth they've recognized in relationality to that experience, right? Like it's like I want you to think about, like I want you to understand, like I want you to think about plumbing, which is, what do we mean by plumbing? Like plumbing is the space by which we drop something, right? We drop something in to see how far it goes. So something about you being able to plumb that is like, I feel like I want you to think about that conversation as you plumbing, to say, I want to understand like how much of what you've experienced there you have also recognized, right? And your observations may like require, like you might be like that is almost you requiring and saying like, are we on the same page in relationality to the severity of something that you experienced, right? Because I almost see someone that's like trying to shrug something off and be like, oh, it's not a big deal. Everybody experiences that. And I see you being like, no, like, I see you being like, I feel like I see you being like, no, right? Like I see you almost being like, no. So I feel like them kind of coming into the reality of how you perceive it. Like, think about it as like a gentle introduction to your own perception or perspective. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Lisa. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list, you'll be the next person read for. It's 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more. 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers. Links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. And friends, we are at 31.1K likes. When we get to 50K, I'll be gifting a reading back to the collective. So make sure you're tapping that screen. We'll get to 50K in no time. All right. Hi there, Austin. I'm happy to read for you on that, dear. If you'd like to get on the list is open. You'll be the next person read for. Sending you support on that journey, though. Yeah, it's like he's aware, but still puts himself through it. But again, here's this is the thing about it. Like, when we care about others, like we put ourselves through stuff. You know what I mean? Like, when we care about others, like we have to navigate it, is what I keep on seeing, right? And I feel like that's the thing that you have to kind of help another person with, which is basically saying to someone, like, I understand how hard it is. It's hard for me to see you having to navigate something that is difficult. Like you said, it's hard to watch. Hi there, Yarmaya. Lisa, I don't know if he'll ever see it as harmful, though. But, and that's the thing, and that's what I meant, like, start the conversation there, right? Making sure that you're not just casting the energetic judgment upon it, but saying, like, how do you experience it? Because this is how I see it. Yeah, I see how badly it's affected them. Oh, dear. Oh. But I feel like that's the thing, like, the ability of being, and listen, you can have that conversation that says, like, my priority is you being in a good place, you know? Like, that's why I almost see you having to, like, start something from. Yeah, ask about his perspective before sharing yours. Yes. I don't want to step on toes. Yeah, that's what I mean. Exactly what I meant. Like, the care about the family, but the unhealthy dynamic, which is the understanding of saying, like, I see it, I recognize it, and letting another person say, I want to help you through it. Up 777, tap to claim. Yes, he literally said, next week we'll be back to normal. And I'm like, no, that wasn't something to bypass at all. Exactly. That's what I meant about, like, again, like something about sweeping things under the rug, but instead making sure to energetically address it. You're so welcome, dear. I hope that helps. No, of course. No, I see that. But I think that that's the thing you have to understand, like articulating to yourself, like telling them how much they mean to you, and why it feels like it's hard for you to see them in a space where it feels like their standards are not being honored. You know, they don't navigate. Oh, that's sending you so much support on that, Lisa. And Catherine, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. All right, friends, final call right now for anyone who would like a full reading, or if there's any subscribers who have not had a card pulled today. Just a reminder, we are going to be off the next 2 days, and we'll be returning back online on Monday. If you missed today's daily collective read, it'll be up on the place where we keep the photos. It'll also be up on the place where we keep the videos. I also, if you became a subscriber today, I want to welcome you. Thank you for joining our collective. You can head over to our subscriber only Discord channel, and you will find there go ahead and introduce yourself in the welcome wagon section. Also, you can head over to our perk section, and in the perk section, you will find a special coupon code that will give you a discount to our tarot class subscription program. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, July 16th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. I also want to let you guys know there is another class program that I am participating in right now. It is called the Feral Self-Care Collective. Now that class program kicked off earlier this week with an orientation welcome introduction class. But I want to let you guys know that the classes themselves have not officially begun. If you would like to become a part of that class cohort, all you need to do is head over to healingforhotmesses.com. There is about 3 months worth of classes that cohort will be learning about. There's going to be an introduction to divination. There's going to be a study on the magician archetype. There's going to be a creative practice in junk journaling. There's also going to be an exploration of the Akashic records. I am going to be teaching a class on mystical poetry called Magic Animals. I would love to see you there. My class is held on July 23rd. There's still time to join that class program if you would like to join. You can still enroll, and all you need to do is head over to healingforhotmesses.com, and you get all of those classes, 3 months of incredible classes at an incredibly affordable rate. So I encourage you guys, if you're interested in those classes, to head over there and become a part of that cohort. I also wanted to invite you to participate in the installation, the art installation that I am going to be holding this weekend at the New York City Poetry Festival. We are going to be doing a Poetic Fortunes art installation where we will be, where festival participants will be able to leave and take poetic fortunes throughout the weekend. I'd love it if you became a part of that, because it is an interactive art exhibit. The digital crystal ball is now open. And if you would like to head over and contribute your own fortunes into that experience, all you need to do is head over to my Substack, and you will find the link in my collaboration section. You can add and enter as many fortunes as you like. My only rule is that you make sure that they are nice. Okay, I will be checking all of them. They need to be in a kind fashion. And I want to thank you guys, to everyone who's already contributed your fortunes into the project. I'm so blown away by those who have chosen to participate. And thank you again if you already have, and I look forward to you doing so. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here today and sharing your morning with me. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. And the biggest thank you to my mods. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we'll do this again on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone, and take care.